Jack, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see, it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Well, yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
Yes! I look and see, it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see, it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Get wild! Yeah!
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah!
Damn it, God damn it.
Yeah!
Every booking is golden, you see. Perfect cards crafted for you and me. Yeah, the best guys, Tony Khan, is true. Triple cup, best damn booker in the land. 3 red cups stacked up, always in command. Triple cup, living legend of the fight. Just a call away from making it right. Never see him back hard, no way. Got the whole roster locked in for the day. A Crimson Tower, modern art. Triple cup. Triple cup. Every booking is golden, you see. Perfect cards crafted for you and me. Yeah, the best guys, Tony Khan, is true. Triple cup. Best damn booker in the land. 3 red cups stacked up, always in command. Triple cup. Living legend of the fight. Just a call away from making it right. Never see him back hard, no way. Got the whole roster locked in for the day. A Crimson Tower, modern art. Triple cup. Triple cup.
What's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show Wednesday night. Yeah, the dub is for Wednesday. Yeah, I am your host, the infallible Phil S.
You
Marks.
are a naive, brainless, pathetic, idiotic, clueless, dumbass Mark.
And on tonight's show, we have AEW lawsuit drama. AEW's found themselves in yet another little seemingly minor petty lawsuit which isn't really petty. I mean, it is what it is, but we're going to break that all down. Keith Lee was divorced and then kicked while he's down by Brian Alvarez. Told Brian Alvarez stooched everybody that he's like retired or something. And he just went ahead and told everybody that. Big Cass and Enzo Amore are returning to WWE allegedly. For sure we know Cass. We don't know about Enzo yet. I have an allegedly about WWE and Amazon. And more, man. We have Nick LoPiccolo versus Joey Janela online. They went back and forth, and wrestling's not fake. If we got time for that chat. What else do we got tonight? We got Dark Side of the Ring, the TNA episode. We have a jam-packed show. There's so much stuff. Your boy Phil can't fit it all in the title. That's what she said. Go. So what you guys can do if you want to support, you hit like, you hit subscribe, you hit retweet, heart if you're watching on X, patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. It is pinned to the chat on YouTube. I will be putting polls up on screen for you guys to vote wherever you're watching. You can super chat in or become a member for 99 cents. I do bonus shows every week. This last week we watched Raw, which is really good. And what else, guys? What else are the plugs? That's it. Okay. Gift a membership. You can do that too. Okay. I appreciate that. And then you get like TK Mark 36, who's been a member for 16 months, dude. Thank you. And our friend Tenta here, I'm not a shark, I'm a man. For 2, ifs and buts were Phil's nuts, they'd all be gurgling. You like that? You were listening to last show or what? Thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. We have a lot to get to, though. We have a jam-packed show, so without further ado, guys, as folks file in, what did I do? I watched The Dark Side of the Ring, okay? I also been watching X-Men 97. You guys watching X-Men 97? It's good stuff. It's, like, really, really good stuff. For superhero stuff, we got to go to, like, cartoons now. I mean, all the superhero cartoons are always good. Spider-Man, Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, Batman the Animated Series. They're all really, really good. But now it's like that's where the premium, it's not even the live action superhero stuff. It's like the premium stuff or the movies they make in the cartoons. Everything's going full circle like when we were kids, or at least when I was a kid. But yeah, X-Men 97 rules, and then I watched Dark Side. So we're going to talk about that. So you guys don't care about that. You guys don't care about Phil S. Marks. You care about the hot news, as Conan would say. You guys care about Indies global miscellaneous news. And so that's what we are about to get into, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for Indies global miscellaneous news. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So guys, make sure you check out patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. Speaking of things popping off, speaking of explosive West Coast shit. No, speaking of explosions, so much news. It's crazy. Our minds are blown today. The International Gigolo posted this exploding cage on an indie show. So this is a TWE. That Wrestling Enterprise. I'm joking. I don't know the name. So the crowd is just like, can't really see shit. It's all smoky. There's more people in the ring than are in the crowd. And these guys are just, oh, I'm not shitting on them. You know, they're doing their damn thing. They're doing what they do. Oh, my God, King. It's crazy. I'm surprised AEW hasn't gone back to like exploding something. I mean, they've done the super boot. They did the barbed wire. Here's the thing with that barbed wire match in I think it was the pandemic era still. Maybe they were letting some people in, but it was very minimal, if any, fans there. But the exploding ring, at least to my recollection, am I wrong about that? Were fans allowed back when they did the exploding ring? Doesn't matter. That match, the build to it was good. And that match was actually good. It's just the finish. It just went off like bullshit. They should try it again and just not have it fuck up. And they might as well. People are like, oh, come on now, Phil. That's not very fair. Why would they? Because they've done everything already. You might as well go out with a bang. I thank you. Moving along. Speaking of bang, bang, I got zero transitions today. BWF, Brazilian Wrestling Federation, is pleased to announce its partnership with New Japan Pro Wrestling, Japan's largest professional wrestling company and one of the most respected organizations in global wrestling. So they're teaming up. Parceria Internacional. So yeah, it'll be BWF and New Japan teaming up. Speaking of New Japan, they recently we'll go back to that, but in New Japan right now there's an announcement. Shota Umino sustains a concussion and he's forced to withdraw from the G1 Climax, so wishing him a speedy recovery. I don't think in Japan they do the whole like he's hurt, so or let's just invent a hurt for storyline purposes. I'm pretty sure they just really get hurt, and Shota Umino rules. So speaking of people who rule, and MLW, which has been doing some good shit, man. I encourage everybody to watch MLW. I'm shilling MLW now. So Killer Cross confirms he will defend the MLW World Heavyweight title against Jimmy Townsend in WWE star Ethan Page's promotion, Alpha One Wrestling, on July 26th. So let's take a listen to this. Here's Killer Cross.
Out here doing my road work, figured I'd touch base with everybody. Hi. So, a few months ago, I'm on a Zoom call with All Ego Ethan Page when I'm in New Zealand. And we had a conversation about me competing at Alpha One Wrestling in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
Oh, Canada, bud.
He asked me if I'd be interested. I said, of course I would. He asked me, hey, what do you think about Jimmy Townsend, the convict? I said, he's pretty good. He's actually very good. He goes, all right, we'll make the match. No problem. Jimmy, being a young man with a chip on his shoulder, which is good.
And cracked corn, and I don't care.
Calls me out for an MLW World Heavyweight Championship match. It's insane, but I can appreciate it. I get it cleared, so it's going to go down. Jimmy, you're going to get your title match.
So there you go. And I'm curious, is Alpha One WWE ID'd? Is Ethan Page's promotion Alpha One WWE ID'd? Because it's interesting, right? Like MLW. No, so his indie promotion, Wrestling A1, Alpha One Wrestling, is not ID'd. And MLW, they have relationships with Nuge and CMLL. And it's interesting, like, do you think they are going to try and get their own TV deal, or do they end up on my AEW? Is that even an option? Are they cool with AEW? I'm really curious. But MLW, I think, is lobbying to get their own. Like, they saw TNA got, what was it, 30 million? Right? And I maintain AEW, like, let's say they have to leave WBD Paramount, they could go and look around for like 60 to 80 million. For sure, they'd get double what TNA does, right? And then MLW would probably, like, someone would give them 10 million or something. Maybe they're holding out for that. I don't know. I don't know what's going through Court Bauer's mind and all of that. But if they end up on my AEW, I don't want to say it's an L, but that would be a good play for tone. If it was like, you have to go to MLW or you have to go to my AEW to see MLW. It's like the destination, but then you're like under a banner. MLW wants to do their own thing. You got the right guys. You got Riddle, bro. You got Cross. You got, I mean, Dijak's doing his thing. It sucks that Corbin left him, but, you know, Josh Bishop's all good. You got Cruel. You got the Good Brothers. You got Shotzi's there. You got a good little federation. Paul Walter Hauser's doing his thing. So, yeah, we move along here. Speaking of CMLL and New Japan's relationship with MLW, Fantastica Mania USA. So they recently did Fantastica Mania, and that was CMLL versus Nuge. And, you know, they were in Chicago recently. They drew like 4,000 people, just over 4,000. No AEW presence other than like, I think Gabe Kidd, maybe. I don't even think he was in that shit. Maybe he was. I didn't watch it, but we read the names here on the show. I don't think he was in it, but either way, it doesn't matter. Nuge did a show, not really anything related with AEW. It's surprising that New Japan and CMLL, they're partnered with AEW, but they don't do like Fantastica Mania USA with them. They do it with MLW. Now, I don't know what that's about. Like, they feature Fantastica Mania on my AEW, the New Japan CMLL version. But MLW doing their own thing. MLW, some people say, have a better working relationship than AEW does, simply because the way they use guys. Like in MLW, like when Mystico shows up in front of an MLW crowd, they go way crazier than AEW fans do. Like, I know Dave is, Mystico, but AEW fans don't really give a fuck about Mystico. MLW fans go crazy for that dude. And so I know that AEW's worked with MLW, etc., but we need to keep a close eye on this and this relationship. And like, they're doing Fantastica Mania USA with MLW. Now, let's say they've done it in the past. Cool. That's all fine and dandy. What I'm saying is AEW is supposed to be like the premier whatever. And obviously you want to spread your shit out a bit. Pause. But I don't know. I think it's telling. Like, they're in America to do the G1 and they don't have like an AEW presence. Isn't the whole part of the part, and provided there's no like MLW presence, but that's all like ex-WWE guys for the most part. I don't know what I'm extrapolating here. It's just we're puzzle piecing this together and it's interesting. And I think MLW is going to swoop in and possibly felt TNA and maybe AEW a little bit. Mads Cruel Kruger and the Good Brothers face the new Skyscrapers. So they are the Contra Mercs. Right? You got Cruel throwing up 2 sweets and shit with the Good Brothers, dude. So that's all good. That's going down Saturday. Just a bunch of fucking free promo for MLW. Shout them out. And in other ML wrestling leagues, MLP, Maple Leaf Pro, they have more breaking news after news after news. They're on my AEW. What? They're on TSN. What? They got big name Billy Gunn's there. What? And breaking news, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling and Fight Nation have extended their broadcasting partnership to bring MLP Mayhem to French-speaking audiences around the world. Merci beaucoup. Starting Thursday, July 16, MLP Mayhem will air free every Thursday on Fight Nation in France, Monaco, Switzerland, Belgium, Luxembourg, as well as in French-speaking territories in Africa. The series will also air Fridays at 8:30 p.m., on Fight Nation's linear channel 196 in France, en français. And so MLP continuing to do their thing. And this is like, again, talking about TNA getting felted, like, you have Scott D'Amore, who was there. If people are saying that TNA's in a bit of a lull, like, look how ambitious he is, and he doesn't need to be. He was ready to give TNA 10 mil. It was 10 or 20 mil. I forget what it was reported, and incur all of their debt and own all of their debt that they had. He was ready to do that. He's that confident in himself. Now he's doing Maple Leaf Pro, and I'm not watching the shit all the time. Now I wanted to support it more. There's too much goddamn wrestling. There really, really is. And I don't think that's a bad thing. But as far as MLP is concerned, they have a working relationship with AEW, and they've managed to make some waves for sure. They get on TSN. Scott D'Amore, he doesn't need to be doing this. He could just be chilling. You know, that $10 million he was going to give TNA, he could just chill. But instead he went, all right, I'm going to go do my own thing then. And he's successful at it. And let's take a listen to him promoting on the Ariel Helwani show. And you know Ariel Helwani, he's from Montreal, so he's very excited for this shit. And let's take a listen to Scott D'Amore show.
So MLP Mayhem, it premieres tonight. So it premieres tonight on TSN2 at midnight. If you're in the States, you can watch it on My AEW.
My AEW at 1 a.m. Eastern time, 10 p.m. Pacific. So as soon as it goes off the air on TSN, it starts on My AEW.
Okay.
And that gets us all Americans, all people. There's 100 countries around the world can get it through.
How easy is that? D'Amore's such a good, he just easily explains shit. He was great on Dark Side of the Ring. And hey, as soon as it's done on TSN, it'll be available on Fight Nation or whatever the fuck he just said.
My AEW, and we're stoked to bring it to you. It's
My AEW, I guess. Shout out My AEW.
I guess it's 30 plus years in the making. It's truly special. It's a platform that I think is important and meaningful to Canadians, but not just Canadians, because the support we've gotten from around the world. And one of the reasons why we did the My AEW deal, besides the fact that AEW has been a very good partner, is the amount of people.
Like there's no melting down. And now it's just out in the open. Everybody knows it. He just says it. Yeah, they're a great partner. But this happened before the TNA WWE deal. So again, everybody, like, hey, if you're a sicko out there and you want to own WWE, be like, they reacted by working with TNA. They were scared. There, flip it like that if you want. See, I can make your points for you. But you could argue that, like, WWE was reactionary in that they started working with TNA. But this happened before. Just nobody talked about it. Nobody was melting down. Oh, can you believe WWE trying to monopolize again or working with TNA and trying blah, 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 blah. Like, remember everybody melted down about that shit? And then it did pay off for TNA. They got a TV deal. So is this partnership, MLP, paying off because of their time with AEW or their partnership with AEW? Not really, because it's not promoted. It's sort of this subtle thing that is now just like out in the open and everybody just readily admits. Nobody was really hiding it, but nobody cared or questioned. And is it because of the talent who go there and work? For sure. Is it because Tone or any? No. Did WWE directly help TNA get their deal? Yes. Is AEW directly helping by letting Ricochet or whoever wrestle on the show? I'm going to say no, and this is why. Because where's HOG's TV deal with TSN? Where's fucking Rev Pro's whatever the fuck? You know what I mean? It's about the booking. It's about the mind. It's about the force that is Scott D'Amore. We stand on guard for these.
Well, like, how do I watch this? Like, I'm in insert the name of country. How do I watch this? I want to watch this. And now we're able to bring it around the world.
I love it. Well, I wish you guys nothing but the best. So MLP Mayhem.
Shout out Ariel Helwani. He catches a lot of heat, but man, he's putting wrestling on and shit to people who may have fallen off. And if you watch that Conor McGregor fight where his leg just blew out, and you're one of those fans who go to the UFC and you like to see Paddy Pimblett's entrance and shit, maybe you can convert to pro wrestling. Who knows? The pageantry's everything, pal. Speaking of the pageantry and TNA and all of that, Dark Side of the Ring tweeted this out. Now that the epic 3-hour saga has concluded, what did you think of Jeff Jarrett in the battle for TNA? I really liked it. I thought each episode was great. I think that Karen Jarrett was hilarious. I think that Awesome Kong was hilarious. I think that Jeff Jarrett came across really well. I think that Tony Khan was in it for like under 1 minute total in the last episode, and he cannot come across human. Everybody on Dark Side, they give such real interviews. Like even a guy like Scott Steiner, you get like a real version of him just actually talking about shit, which you don't get a lot of. You know, we mostly remember Steiner for just him saying wacky, outlandish shit. You look at his tweets, it's just hit the gym, fatties and shit, you know? Like he doesn't, he's not a guy like, yeah, I'm sure he's done a shoot interview in the past, but you get what I'm saying. Like you see a real side of this guy and he's really doing an interview, and Jeff Jarrett feels so human. Then Tony Khan comes in and he just feels, there's just something about him. Like he can't be normal around a camera. He can't. It's crazy to me. So episode 3, that's just fresh on my mind. Some people think Tone like paid the producers and shit. I don't know. I think he's a mark enough to just want to be there. And I think he gave, when the Dark Side of the Ring guys and Jeff Jarrett came to him and were like, hey, We are doing a 3-parter on Jeff Jarrett and TNA. We're wondering, can we follow him around here? Tone gave them, oh yeah, here's all access. Here's you go, look around, film, whatever. Like, that's what he did. And so he was just excited. Do you guys want me for an interview? Like, he was just excited to be on it. He didn't pay anybody, right? We got to stop with these conspiracies and shit. Some of them are warranted, some of them not so much. But he just can't come across human, really. And then Jeff Jarrett, he comes across so well. Karen Jarrett, I mean, okay, a lot of people are hung up on some of the fake stuff, oh, they skipped over the Fox HD years or whatever the fuck, the sport, whatever channel they were on. It's like, well, you got to remember, you got under 3 hours if you think about it. It's like 45 minutes each episode. And it is for Uber marks, but it's also not. It's also a Vice show that, like, your girlfriend will watch Dark Side of the Ring with you. You know what I mean? They have Dark Side of the 90s, Dark Side of the Cage. You can't explain each little thing for the sickos and wackos. Like, not everything is so important, but obviously it might add more context. Like, think about it. They do the whole TNA and they talk about the Kurt Angle era, right? And they don't even bring up, like, when the Dudleys came over, that was huge. They don't talk about, like, a lot of the stuff, how they fumbled the alpha male and some of these wrestlers. Like, they fumbled a good handful of wrestlers. They didn't talk about Billy Corgan at all, who the story is, like, Dixie Carter had him there. He literally put up $2 million. This is like during the Pop era or whatever era they were in, Access TV or something. I don't even remember what TNA was on, Destination America. It was one of those times where Dixie was almost out of the company entirely. And Corgan, remember when he showed up on TNA a couple times? He allegedly put up $2 million to keep, like, otherwise TNA wasn't going to go on the air that fucking week. And then he went out there in the fur hood and all that. Then he just disappeared. And then he bought NWA. Like, he was really trying to get into wrestling. Like, Dixie was that desperate at one point. They didn't even talk about that. So there's a lot of stuff that, of course, is going to get left on the table. Like, you can't fucking cover it all. So, and then some people talk about inaccuracies. Lincoln Hawk for 5 says, how loaded is the D'Amore family with their construction business? Does MLP failing even matter to him financially? Well, no. I mean, he's a good, that's why he's a good partner for Tone. You know what I'm saying? It would be awesome if Jeff Jarrett and Scott D'Amore linked up and started a Fed or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But Lincoln, I don't know. I know you're a TNA hole. Do you like the D'Amores, or are you more like, no, I'm team and Anthem? What's your stance on that? But, and thank you for the super chat. So overall, dude, I think that the show was good, and some people say there's some inaccuracies. I don't know. Like, I wasn't there. I'm just going to take people at their word. I love when Awesome Kong, she's like, people ask me, what do I do? And I go, I throw bitches. She's like, I pick bitches up and I throw them. That was the fun. That popped me. I had to rewind it. It popped me so hard. I was like, oh shit. What else was good in this? Jeff Hardy just really being very upfront, succinct, down to the point. Just like, yeah, I fucked up there. I'm embarrassed by that. You know, he's not like tap dancing around over explaining himself. He was just like, that person is not me, but who I am, but it's who I was. He's just so fucking clever, quick with it. It's just good to see him like doing good. And he wasn't in it a lot. He was just in the last episode. And it's crazy. That's what I mean. Like, they fit that in. They managed to fit that in to try and, like, I don't know, make Bischoff and Hulk look shitty. I don't know why they just slipped that in. They could have put in when Waltman wrestled against AJ Styles on meth, but they had a banger. So how do you fucking, that could be in there. The Billy Corgan, the fucking, the alpha male could be in there. A bunch of the Macho Man's last ever appearance. You mean to tell me that, you know, that couldn't have been in there? You could do like a 12-hour. Darkseid should consider doing that independently. They should redo all of this with these footage and interviews and shit, and then do a bunch more. And they should do like a 10-parter and just put it up on YouTube or something. Like, you don't even put it up on a fucking paywall and then eventually release the episodes on YouTube or whatever, if that's how you want to do it. Old school DVD style, but online. I'm spending a lot of time on Dark Side, but I'm a big fan. Next week is Joe versus Necro Butcher in that pretty much shoot fight they had. So that will be a good one too. I don't know how dark they're, like, obviously they're going to get into how crazy Necro is, and it'll probably focus on him a lot. With Joe, it'll focus on how he's a legit badass, but he came from like a family of dancers. Like, he was a dancer and shit. And then he discovers he's actually a badass, one of the toughest sons of bitches in wrestling, and how he's a fucking legend. You know what I mean? Like, Joe, not so Dark Side, you know? I'm sure he's had stuff in his life that will get revealed, but he's just a badass. And he's just a consummate profesh. And Butcher is like the complete opposite of like the long-time respected indie wrestler guy who just never really translated to the greater scene, and possibly chugging beers and shoot punching wrestlers in the fucking face instead, like trying to, like, I'm sure they're going to go over when he like stomped that dude like in the ring. You guys ever see the Cage of Death match? I think in like CZW, where he like beats that dude, like knocks him and is like stomping him against the buckle and shit. And it's like, you're crazy, bro. So I'm sure they'll get into all of that in that episode. I think it'll be a sleeper, because just the match itself, it's like, well, whatever, that's sicko shit. But nay, there will be some good storytelling there. Speaking of storytelling, we head over to GCW and the Hardcore. So Richard Holiday took off his boots and left them in the middle of the ring after his match with Bear Bronson. Shout out Bear Bronson at GCW Millie. Now, JJ Alexander came on the Memba Monday show on Monday, and he was talking about some shit like Richard Holiday always does this, and he did this a year ago or something. Well, I didn't see that. You know, I'm unaware of that. So he says he's trolling and he's booked through Connecticut and all this shit. After this, and I didn't bookmark it, but Richard Holiday also, I believe, did a curtain call type thing with Ben Bishop and I want to say Effie maybe, and someone else. They did like 4 wrestlers they two-sweeted and hugged each other. And Richard Holiday allegedly, now I heard he was ID'd a while back. I think that was tweeted the fuck out there. I think some dirt sheet put that out there as well. So I ain't even like talking out of turn or allegedly. This is what I think people believe is going on. I'll just play the clip as I chat. And like, I don't know. He's going to go to WWE. This guy's going to go to WWE if he starts and Evolve. Okay. Probably just go to NXT right away. He could probably skip Evolve, but maybe they start him there. Okay. Go to NXT. And then I don't think he'll be in NXT long unless he really blows up and they're like, no, we need to keep this guy here. How old is Richard Holiday? How old is Richard Holiday wrestler? 33. So maybe, because like if he blows up, they want ratings for NXT too. Like they're in a rebuild phase. How long is Nadaku and Tony D gonna stay down there? Tony D maybe for life, but I don't know. This seems legit to me. Then he did the curtain call. They're talking about it. Oh, the rumors he's going to WWE. Now maybe he's trolling because he's not going to WWE right away. And let's say he is booked elsewhere. Okay, but that wouldn't be the first time a wrestler was booked or held a fucking title even of a promotion, got signed by WWE, and then fucking vacated their shit or didn't go to those bookings and canceled them. Like that's what happened with Ricky Starks, for instance, you know? So we move along here, and we're talking about story here, okay? And we'll stick to the indies here, I guess. So on the indies, breaking news, I guess. Is NWA an indie? Or is it like one step above indie? Is it like a legacy promotion? You know, TNA, even ROH, like, is that an indie? I mean, kind of, but it's more like a legacy promotion. NWA, I think we could classify it as that. Some people probably get triggered, but PWT Universe is undefeated. We will make that a thing, okay? PWT Universe, legacy federations. So WWE superstar Natalia, Natty by Nature, returns to NWA, and she will be there with Kenzie Page and Kylie Page, who are sisters. And Kenzie Page, I believe, was the champion for a bit there in NWA. Either way, they're going to the 2300 arena, and what's his name again? Aaron Rex. Damian Sandow, Mizdow, or whatever the fuck, he will be there. Okay, so that's cool too. Shout out NWA. Shout out whatever Fed decided to book this guy, but he went viral. The crowd went nuts for this shit. And Geek Time Entertainment posted this. Jermaine showed up. His name's Jermaine. Okay, the guy in the basketball outfit here. Jermaine showed up for us unbooked at 8:30 a.m. for a 10 a.m. setup. Earned the spot and literally hit a slam dunk. So take a look here.
Oh, the ankles! The ankles!
So this is at GC Dub. They're popping for this. He's in a Raptors jersey or like a modified one. This dude showed up. And this is what so many wrestlers will tell you. They've said it in interviews. They've said it to me on PWT. They've said it in tweets. They've said it everywhere. If you just show up, you never know. Okay? And networking is important, especially in the wrestling business. If you just show up, are in shape, you never know. This guy's going to get booked a bunch now because a bunch of these feds want the crowd to react like this. So he's just breaking ankles. And this doesn't offend me so much, and it could get tired quick. And I'll tell you why. Because there's fighters, like if you look at boxing and shit, there's guys like Dominic Cruz or Muhammad Ali even who would like foot shuffle, juke people out, make them look stupid. And this guy's doing like basket. Sean O'Malley actually does this. He'll like dribble. He'll pretend like he's dribbling, and then he'll just piece you up like 1-2 while he's like fucking pretending he's crossing people up and shit. And it's not like it's not like I'm putting my hands in my pockets and fake kicking you, right? So he's like breaking people's ankles, and then when they turn around, he hits them with the RKO. Like it makes sense. That's like a slam dunk type move, you know? It kind of actually makes sense in like a super indie way. Let me know if you think this is offensive, chat.
Oh, the ankles! The ankles!
I like that. And then the guy hit the TSN like it's a whole thing. The Sports Center Top 10 or the ESPN 10 or whatever the fuck that is. This is a whole thing now. This is a whole gimmick for this guy. That could blow up too. I don't know if you get sued for using that sound. I don't know if it's public domain or what. But he's got it figured out now.
Oh, the ankles!
One more time.
The ankles!
I don't know. Maybe it's just the Raptors, the old school Raptors throwback with his afro on the Raptor winning me over, but goddamn, is that some good shit. So we move along here. And speaking of real combat sports, Gable Steveson made his UFC debut. He ate a lot of shots, got tagged up, and he's young, so he can do that. But he just has ungodly fucking power in his hands where you can see it. Like once he really gets crispy and precise and technical with that striking, which he's already there. He's way better at striking than I thought he'd be. but he does just like eat shots to get in there and clunk you out. Like you cannot do that at the tippy top of the division. And in UFC, there's no easy fights. So hopefully John Jones was in his corner. He can work that out. But Sean Strickland, who some people go, oh, he's like, he just talks shit like he's trying to do a WWE thing. Gable Steveson wins his debut, and Sean Strickland tweets and goes, just make sure he has no objects when you interview him. Things might get weird. Bro, that is fucking savage. He just yeeted his ass so hard, dude. That's crazy. But shout out Gable Steveson getting his win there. And speaking of, you know, aura, which is what Gable Steveson does have when he steps inside that cage. Jim Johnston was on this podcast, The False Face, and he's talking about how shitty the music is in WWE again. Shout out The False Face, and let's take a listen to this clip. And also, Jim Johnston rules. He's at Jim __ Johnston online, I think.
Able to be making dinner in the kitchen, with the TV in the other room, and you'd know who was coming out. You could almost follow the program from the other room. Now, I just don't think it's like that at all. And for some reason, the powers that be have forgotten their roots or something of how powerful music is in creating stars. And I further believe that's why they're not creating either WWE or AEW. They're not creating big stars anymore. There are no new Steve Austins. There are no Rocks around now.
Yeah.
And it's
I don't think that's true, dude. Roman's huge. It's huge in a different way. Like, you got to understand, more people have access. More people have like seen Roman Reigns because of social media around the globe than saw Stone Cold in his prime when he was like selling all these shirts. Now, do all of those same people who know Roman likely also know Stone Cold fucking Steve Austin because he transcended? Like, it is a globe. Absolutely. But I mean, if you tabulate, we're calling it tabulation. If you tabulate the fucking social media impressions and shit like that, if you want to go that route, like Roman, you know, has been seen by more people than fucking Austin did in his prime. No doubt. So I agree with him, but like Roman's theme is fire and really suits him. I don't know if Johnston made Joe's theme in WWE, but it was banging. But also Joe's theme in AEW, I think, is spot on. It's kind of just a remake of his WWE theme. I think there are some exceptions to what he's saying, but obviously he's speaking in general, and in general, it's hard to disagree with that when it comes to iconic themes. You know, people will sit there and be like, well, this one's a banger, but none of them are bangers the way Jim Johnston single-handedly knocked out so many bangers with so many different bands. It wasn't just he made bangers and iconic themes for these wrestlers. It was also that he would then work with Saliva or the Unknown D-Generation X Band or Our Lady Peace or fucking whoever, and then he could also make bangers and iconic themes with them and remixing his shit. It worked. Right? And now you have like people hear Gunther's theme. Like, as soon as you hear his music hit, you're like, oh shit. But I mean, that's a fucking old symphony. That's public domain. You know what I mean? So Jim Johnston's right in many fucking ways, and he deserves his flowers. And when you're making all this money, I would bring him back. If anybody's worth the money, okay? If you're cutting the New Day and getting rid of Sheamus, or Sheamus doesn't want to resign, and then you're bringing in Corbin and you're saving some money, give it to this guy to have him oversee what the fuck Def Rebel or whatever they're who's the band Def Rebel, I think. You know, have him oversee what they're doing and just like, so you guys don't want more, like you guys don't want better themes. You know, a lot of people cope over this shit. The themes aren't all this bad. Listen, man, a bunch of them are generic slop. Matt Cardona's theme right now. Like a bunch of them are generic. Do you not want everyone to have themes? Even Vaccair's theme is slop shit now compared to the one they made her change it. Why? I don't know. Ego Ethan Page's theme just sounds like generic shit because they made him get rid of the ego. Why? Jim Johnston never had these problems. And if he ran into one, he'd fucking remix it and figure it out. Spend some money, okay? This is when I care about WWE's making bajillions of dollars. Are you spending it to make the show better for the fans? The iconic themes are good for the fans, okay?
Because everyone's sort of in this layer of generic.
I suppose
and I don't understand it.
I don't understand it, and I mean you could spend
able to be making dinner in the kitchen,
yeah,
with the TV and the
yeah. So there you go, and that's a great analysis too. He goes, if you were making dinner in the kitchen and you heard the TV, you hear someone's theme, you'd know who it was. Now you would know that too if you're like a hardcore wrestling fan. If you're just a casual, you don't know. You don't know whose theme that shit is, you know? When Zelina Vega was coming out to the shit that sounded identical to the SmackDown theme and she was on SmackDown, you're just like, what? Is this a commercial break? What the fuck is going on? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is miscellaneous news.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So we have Edge and Christian, Cope and Cage taking on Yuta and Garcia. Team Who Gives a Shit is what I call them. And the crowd is just not that hot. And Edge and Christian have to get worked over by these two goobers that nobody takes serious for a second. And it's a travesty, dude. And Commander's back, getting a title shot after he wasn't allowed in the country because of visa issues for so long. So he gets a title shot and we'll just beat him. It's everything's so backwards all the time. I don't know what the ratings and attendances are for all of this. The ratings, obviously we don't know the ratings. Dummy. But I would like to know the attendance for this Dynamite here. It would be nice to know. I'm going to put this. And they're talking, and the commentary's trying to go, this title could switch. You never know. No, we know it ain't switching. You know, they ain't losing it to Utah. Okay, so let's move along here. And the Hardy Boys in 2K26. I cannot wait. Can't come soon enough. Okay, we're gonna do some TNA news. Speaking of TNA, or I don't know if I was talking about TNA in that last thing. Actually, there is no. We'll just save that. We'll save that. There's like nothing in TNA news tonight, so we'll just do that another time. And we're gonna talk about Keith Lee and Mia Yim before we do WWE or AEW news. Okay. But first, ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the show, Chris Jericho.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let it get wild. Yay!
Sorry, I just needed creamer for my coffee. Okay. Let's get into, guys. This is a segment just called because things are going shitty for Keith Lee. Okay. So it was reported by Sportskeeda, and this really blew up. But it was actually a self-report by Michin, who just corrected somebody online. And we'll get to the comment itself. But Michin and Keith Lee have officially parted ways, which is incredibly unfortunate. Okay? And, I mean, I'm not one of these parasocial fuckers who's like, oh, they should stay together. But it's like they seemed like they made a good couple. Just when you'd see them, right? You see them at the Hall of Fame or whatever. They just look like, you know, they were good. But whatever. People grow apart. They're doing I don't even know. Like, Michin's on the road all the time. Keith Lee's just not. And he's just like getting healthy, or maybe his health's good, or maybe whatever. We're going to get into all of that because Brian just steps on the fucking Keith Lee's neck after he's already going through it. Brian just goes, trying Brian Alvarez. Goes, oh yeah, let me just add this on top of his shitty week with everybody talking about him. So this is what happened here. This person, Oak the Lion, and I don't know, is this on X? This is on fucking Blue Sky or something, on Threads? I have no clue. Oak the Lion goes, I ain't know her and Keith spit where I been at. I ain't know her and Keith spit where I been at. I mean, I don't even know this guy. But
retard alert! Retard alert, class!
Fuck you talking about? And then this guy goes, they're still together. Then Michin goes, we are not. Oh, shit. Right? Oh, no. We need some breakup music. Right? It's just incredibly unfortunate. But she confirmed it on social. So Keith Lee's just sitting at home going, what the hell? But they are not together. And who knows if they're divorced, if they're split. I don't know. But Michin had this to say. She goes, slow news day, I guess. Waking up to some love and some misogynistic comments. Figures. No, it's not. Well, maybe some people are being hateful. I don't want to say that. But it's... Listen, if a dude comments on some shit and they might be a little harsh, it doesn't mean it's misogynistic, okay? Waking up to, but I mean, there's psychopaths online, so I don't know. I'm doubting her, but she says misogynistic comments. We both are still friends and got nothing but love for each other. It's a roller coaster of love. Roller coaster. We both are still friends and got nothing but love for each other. Go outside, get some sun, drink some water, and have a good day. Hell yeah. I like that. But no, it's not a slow news day. Like, you know, people are going to jump all over that. You guys are both like on TV, or at least you are, you know? And I'm sure some people going off on her. It is unfortunate. Like, you know, Adam Cole goes to AEW, gets sick, gets hurt, retires. His girl leaves him. Keith Lee goes to AEW, gets sick, gets hurt, retires, allegedly, according to Brian Alvarez. His girl leaves him. It's like Chris Brown said, man, these hoes ain't loyal, okay? But for real. And you know what's crazy is that Keith Lee and Adam Cole are both supposed to be a team on the main roster, according to the dirt sheets and everything, what Vince McMahon had planned. And I think they confirmed this. Both of them have independently confirmed this, that Keith Lee was going to be like the Bearcat and Adam Cole was going to shave his head bald and manage him and be the mouthpiece for Keith Lee.
Emotional damage.
And then they both go to AEW and get retired due to injury, health, and you know, and then their girls leave them. It's like, God damn, dude. Like, I don't mean to laugh, dude. It ain't even funny. It's just like crazy how things just go to shit in AEW. It seems like. No, not everything. Maybe some people. I mean, for Yuta and Garcia, it's going better than it ever has in their lives. But for guys like Cole and Keith Lee, who everyone's like, okay, they have all the promise in the world. If this is a video game, their potential rating is like 90 plus franchise, elite or whatever. But they went all elite and shit just went to shit. That's all I'm saying, dude. And the parallels there are crazy between them. And they were the guys that everyone was like, oh, can you believe Vince was going to put them together and make them whatever? And it's like, who knows? That could have blown up into the biggest act in the world and they could have been making money hand over fist. But instead, they got sick and retired and hurt when they tried to come. They both tried to come back, then got hurt after they almost died from illness or whatever. It's crazy. It's like, what the fuck is... You guys remember when Lana like touched something in the backstage and then her finger got infected and she almost had to get it amputated? Like, that's crazy. What's going on? What's in the water and the air in AEW land? I just don't know. But yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Let's move along with this, okay? Because I'm talking like Keith Lee is retired, although that's just what Trying Brian Alvarez is saying. So to dogpile, to step on Keith Lee's throat after his ex just responded to some fucking random who can't even spell properly going, I heard they spit. What happened? And then she's like, we are split. And that's how Keith Lee's like, oh shit, why are you putting my business out there, right? So he's believed to be retired. Here's what Trying Brian Alvarez had to say about it. Okay.
Brian.
Let's take a listen to the Wrestling Observer, Figure 4, whatever the fuck.
Everybody has been asking, what is going on with Keith Lee? Is he ever coming back to AEW? And are we ever going to get that match with Swerve? Well, all I can tell you is that, this has been discussed within the business, obviously, with this news coming out as well. There's been a lot of...
I don't get it. I don't get it. With the divorce news, there's been a lot of news as well about Keith Lee, and people are wondering, Bri, people have been wondering this shit, where Keith Lee's been for 3 fucking years. Like, why you gotta go? You just taking a double dusty dump on his ass right after this happens?
Why don't
like,
you just
on,
go
man.
ahead and fuck yourself up the ass?
Talk about Keith Lee over the last couple of days. And I'm not saying like this 100%, okay? I'm not saying this 100% because I don't
Then
know.
why say it? Then
But
don't say it, because this is some shit anybody could say. Hey, it seems like that guy who hasn't been on TV in 3 years and got hurt and fucking hospitalized due to illness. Hey, he's retired. So, it's out there. He's divorced. That's shitty enough. And then you just go and, hey, I mean, this guy's fucking probably never coming back. I hope he does. Just to shit
talking to people. And the belief within the business is that Keith Lee is done. And we're not talking like, when he's done with AEW, if that ever happens, he'll go elsewhere. It is believed that he is likely just retired. So won't get the return to AEW if that's the case. Obviously won't get that.
So then what are you even saying? We all know this. He's either retired and done because he hasn't been on TV in 3 years, or he's not and he'll come back to WWE. No shit, Bri. Bri just had to jump in and go, oh, I know stuff about Keith Lee too, guys. What a dick.
Match. And I don't really know anything other than that, except that's kind of what everybody believes right now. So that's the update on Keith Lee.
Hopefully, at least he's in reasonably decent health, even if he's unable to come back to wrestling.
Yes, very much hope so.
What a fucking prick. Yeah, thank you, Lance, for staying fucking classy, you matching shirt ass. They show up on the stream, and Bri's like, you're wearing the same thing as me, lads. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a segment called Ha! Right? And that's just some Keith Lee fa. What is chat saying, guys? Hit like, hit subscribe, super chat in, become a member, gift a membership, hit the heart, all that good shit. And if you're watching on replay, hype the video. And come and sub, youtube.com/ProWrestleClips. We're almost at 8,000 subs. I think we're like 20 away, maybe less, 15 away, I want to say. So do that. What's chat saying? Same shirt. Dave will be upset about it. Dave told him. It's been reported. Keith Lee was showing up to work without his gear. What? So like naked? What are you talking? No. Jay White, I guess that's it for the show. Yeah, Jay White rules, right? Like the Bang Bang Gang fucking rules. Ace Austin's cool too. The Bang Bang Gang, they came out, they made the save, big schmoz after the Edge Christian stuff because the dogs come out, then the Bang Bang Gang come out, and then Edge and Christian go on and do their own thing, and then the dogs fight the Bang Bang Gang some more. I don't know. Typically when you do this, you're building up to like a 6 versus 6. Maybe that will be the blood and guts. Like Edge and Christian with the Bang Bang Gang versus the dogs and just probably the Callis family or whatever, because Tone's lazy and shitty at booking. And it's funny that we're going to end up getting a blood and guts when they did the Death's Door, which is just the round cage version of the same fucking match. You know? Just like Stadium Stampede and Anarchy in the Arena are the exact same thing. There's no difference in the concepts. Pretty nutty how Tone does that. So let's get into some more stuff, guys. Let's get into some more stuff. We have some WWE news. We're going to start with WWE news. As we get this pulled up here, what else is on this card? Kenny Omega World Championship Celebration. Fletcher and Commander, okay. 6-woman tag, okay. Doyle and El Idolo, that's cool. I mean, Tone being conservative with the matches here. So where is WWE news? Let's get into this over here, guys. And there's other rumors floating around, right, about Braun Breaker. We're going to get into all of this and more. Let me just drink some of this Java. Okay. Guys, it is time for WWF news. And boy, do we have some interesting stuff. Patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. So Logan Paul was running around and vlogging shit, and here's him chilling with Stu, the cameraman, who was just roasting him.
The only thing you got. That's all I can do. That's all you got. Whatever. Other than that, that one bump. One bump. That you're the one with Ricochet? You're saying that's when I peaked? Yeah, that was your peak. That's what's going to get you in trouble. Yeah, that's the only issue. If they let me talk more, I could actually lose my job because of something I say. I know that. Bro, when that red light's on and I have the microphone.
That's Cena's cameraman, Stu.
The voice in the back of my head at any moment is like, no doubt. You could say. Your brother found out what happened when he ran him out too much. That was kind of cold, bro. All right, see you around, Stu. Come back to the only thing.
Stu seems like a good guy. Let's go to work, Stu. So speaking of Logan Paul, he says he's considering buying the WWE private jet, which recently went up for sale for $10.5 million. Okay. It's pretty crazy. The Bombardier Global 5000. You know that if walls could talk on this fucking private plane, it would just have some heinous, hideous stories to tell. All right. But it's going for 10.5 milli, and Logan Paul wants to buy it because he's the world's biggest piece of shit. I think we might have some more Logan Paul action. Yes, well, just with the private jet. It's on the market. So the company's 2008 Bombardier Global 5000 is listed by Haggerty Jet Group on behalf of WWE Jet Services for $10.5, rounding high, per a listing on Av Buyer. So the Tucson facility gave it a full refurbishment in December 23. New black paint with red accents. Yeah, black paint covers up whatever a black light will pick up, pal. A 13-passenger cabin, forward gallery, conference group and Starlink high-speed internet. One note for buyers: the listing says the WWE logos come off before the sale closes. Oh shit! So if you want the WWE logo on that shit, it's coming off regardless, right? Maybe they'll let Logan Paul keep it on there. Who knows? So in other news and other this is and that's, Dana White says that they do the same thing as WWE's wellness program. Now, I don't know if this means the UFC, that is, right? So Dana White's saying that UFC does the same thing as WWE's wellness program. So let's take a listen to this clip.
WWE has a wellness program where if there are ex-wrestlers, or current, that are running into issues, even post-retirement, they can get the help that they need. Have you talked to Dustin? And
we do the same.
You guys do the same thing. Can you explain how that works?
We don't talk about that stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, we do the same.
Now,
the guys that have problems, believe me, a lot do, and we.
Now this was clipped in a weird spot because the guy prefaced this question. Here, let's just listen to how the question, where this is clipped. I watched this full press.
WWE has a wellness program where if there are ex-wrestlers, or current, that are running into issues, even post-retirement, they can get the help that they need. Have you talked to Dustin? And
we do the same.
You guys do the same thing. Can you explain how that works?
We don't talk about that stuff.
Okay, so I bookmarked the right clip with the context. Good, because the guy, some people just clip Dana being like, we do the same, we don't talk about it, whatever. And then they're just like the wellness, whatever. But this clip of him saying it is yo, people who leave the company, you can reach out to us on Dark Side of the Ring, the recent episode, Time Cop, whenever you're listening to this. But Karen Jarrett was on there and Jeff Jarrett, and they talked about how, Jeff Jarrett reached out to WWE even to get help with his alcoholism and whatnot. So UFC does the same thing. Now, I don't know if this question extends to the steroid testing aspect, but UFC did ditch USADA in 24. So who knows? Nobody really knows how they've been tested. Although we do know Conor McGregor got tested 17 times or something crazy, or 7 times, something crazy leading up to this fight. And they are testing. Now, I don't know if they're stringent as USADA, USADA. And who knows if this extends to that, but it would be funny if the steroid testing for WWE and UFC are the same. Again, if you were with under USADA, you couldn't even have too much caffeine in your system. You could buy shit over the counter at any supplement store and that shit would pop you. Right. And, hopefully they are more lenient. Steroids aren't what they were in the 80s, shoving needles in each other's asses backstage to pump up. It's different now. What would pop as oh, you use some shit you shouldn't have. They're talking about some of these manufacturers mix shit in the same vats that they mix steroid shit even, and you could be testing positive for that. USADA had it down to such a crazy science, and they ditched them because USADA fucked up fights for John Jones and Conor McGregor. Well, I don't know about Conor McGregor, but they tried to bury Conor McGregor on their way out. He snapped his leg in 2, and then they were oh, and he failed this one drug test. And it's well, his leg got snapped in 2. I don't really blame him for doing whatever he has to do to recover that leg. And then he can get back in the testing pool and then test him. And if he's failing, then he's still on roids and shit. I don't know what to tell you. And that's what happened. And we saw what happened. His leg broken too. So again, so anyways, when it comes to rehabilitation for people with drug problems and stuff, UFC and TKO across the board seems to do the same thing. Speaking of someone who's never been on PEDs, just kidding. I'm sure everybody in wrestling has done something at some point, right? But Miz, he was out there golfing. And he's been out there golfing a bunch. And this is courtesy of NBC Sports.
Miz, spectacular energy everywhere he goes, all over the golf course. Oh my gosh! Oh, come on! Wait a second! Wait for it. His fourth at the par 5.
Oh, yes. Ow. Ouch. He just took out a caddy. Ouch. Oh, man. Come on. That is so good. He's doing the Hail Irwin at Medina.
It's just the literal Happy Gilmore. They're like, oh, and what's this? He's high-fiving the fans. It's crazy. We've never seen madness like this in in golf since Happy Gilmore.
Team 90. Oh, it's so great. Yeah, we saw it. Miz.
Of course, he's going to sports entertain. What else are you going to do? So CM Punk appeared on Stephanie McMahon's podcast. Okay, we're talking about wrestlers just popping up and doing shit. And this is what CM Punk, he had some tough words here for social media-ites and the IWC essentially. This is a clip. Shout out Fanatics. Shout out what's your story with Stephanie McMahon and all that shit.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Which I wanted
Shout out CM Punk. I got to pause a bunch of these. Fanatics goes crazy, too crazy about their pods.
to ask you about.
So this
as
is
well.
this is why I don't fuck with social media. This is like AI generated. These are fake quotes.
Are they?
Yes. Seth did not tweet this. Becky did not tweet this.
Oh, see, that's why I was asking.
This is all. These are. This is a double-edged sword about, I think, most people in our business, but especially me.
Yeah.
How funny is it that Punk pulled up with the black eye like Hogan after doing the like Bret Hart, Yoko, I'll go in there for you, Cody Rhodes, and I'll beat Sammy. And it's like the Yoko, Bret Hart, Cody Rhodes, Sammy parallels and all that. Then he has the black eye. Like, it's so funny.
I do not say this lightly. These are mentally ill people who, I couldn't.
Guy gifted 1 Pro Wrestle Clips membership. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Thank you for gifting a membership, and shout out whoever got it. Okay, you guys let me know in chat who got it, and I'll shout them out.
Imagine making up fake tweets that
Like
somebody
this.
else said.
Yeah.
To try I think the problem, and it's not just in our business. I think it's a societal thing. Is people will instantly see that, and then they believe
it is mentally ill. You have people who make parody accounts of people. And then aren't like being funny, aren't being clever. It's just they're all day just defending AEW and just like not even cleverly, funnily trolling or anything. Funnily? Is that a... They're not even funny. It's not clever. Just zero interactions, just trolling, but like not even good. Just sickily, obsessedly. We're just adding Lee to all the words. Keith Lee. Right? And they're just like, that's their whole day. It's just so, it's fucking pretty tragic, you know?
they believe it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to change people's minds about that, which is why I lean into, I don't care about changing anybody's mind about that. I'm in a business of toying with people's emotions. So if somebody's going to read that,
same,
and they're going to believe it, that helps me in a way.
Yeah.
You know,
Of course.
But I
It
also
generates interest.
there's also Phil who walks through parking lots with his
me?
wife who has his head on a swivel,
right?
Because those people are out there,
Yeah.
And I'm You know, I'm
right?
Like, it's interesting. Yeah.
So Punk thinks he's gonna like get John Lennon as opposed to like the vast majority of celebrities who people are just terribly kind to them and just want a moment with them. He's like, get away from me, you fucking bum. Oh shit. So here's Punk. He's continuing along talking about the IWC.
Instead of just, I would like more feedback given to people coming through the curtain instead of just, yep, it's fine.
Right.
You know, because some people chase the hug,
right,
and they come back and they're just like, how was it? They
Right.
want to be told, you know. But I always say, well, just get off.
How
your,
could it be
get off your
better?
fucking phone.
Yeah.
You're looking at Twitter to see how your fucking match was.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the people? Because that's your instant reaction.
Crazy that he's still saying that. So that means that's still like very prevalent in the locker room when you hope, like even in WWE, they got to be encouraging, like, don't go on fucking Twitter and look at how matches are and shit.
That's your boss when you're out there.
1,000% agree with that.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit what somebody on Twitter says about your match.
They're,
like,
and by the way, if they're empty seats, that's a big tell.
That's a
right. The live event
Like at SummerSlam. Oh, go.
and audience is, I think, the most critical audience. And I don't mean like other people's opinions.
The online, this is what it is, right? So the internet designed itself over time in a way. And yes, like people designed it this way, but it just sort of like, if you really think about it, it's the inevitable. But everything is about an algorithm. The algorithm with tons of reverb and shit. The algorithm, TM. On every site just feeds you what's either going to make you engage, which is negative shit that's going to outrage you, or it feeds you with shit you like that you spend time looking at, which is two extremes, which isn't good. But it just feeds you shit. Like even ads it's just AI algorithms telling you what you want to see, basically, or what you need, or what it thinks you need to buy based on searches, or what you talk about with your wife because your phones are listening and shit. And so, of course, online, on social media, in any space, hockey, football, movies, Spider-Man, fucking chess, fucking gaming, WWE, anything, you're going to get the most vocal fans. So what you have is people who matter, who are involved in it because it's social media and they want to get their reach out there to as many people as possible. And then what you have are a bunch of people who really want to be involved, and social media is a weird way where people develop these fucking weird parasocial relationships, and it makes celebrities like instantly have access. Like Harrison Ford was recently in an interview talking about, he's like, I did a TV show and the TV show is really good. He's like, and now people don't even want my picture when they come up to me. He's like, people just come up to me and go like, hey man, thank you. He's like, they just thank me and don't even want a picture. He's like, TV makes you too fucking accessible. That's why Nicolas Cage never did a TV show. He's like, no, I'm a film actor. Tom Cruise doesn't do a TV show because there's something to be said about like celebrity, man. It's almost dead now. Like everybody just feels entitled to celebrity time and space and access and shit. But also, as the internet's brought everybody together, we've realized how pompous and douchey the whole celebrity fucking the Met Gala, that's the cringiest shit of all time. You know what I mean? Like it's just exposed us to how fucking cringe this, like, you fucking act for millions of dollars to entertain people. Fucking do that. Shut the fuck up about all this. No one gives a shit, you know, shut up and do that and be mysterious again. That's what it's exposed us to. And so Punk does play social media the right way. And the fans who are fans of something enough to like, I'm going to make a wrestling Twitter because I love pro wrestling and I don't want to use social media really for anything else but fucking no Diddy. But like the niche that I like. Everything's a niche now, okay? Everything's a niche or a niche, whatever you want to call it. Everything is. Every fucking thing is. And even within niches, you have niches. Within niches, you have niches. And niches, you have niches. That's like a Dr. Seuss book, right? So, yes, people are going to be the most glaze-filled, cream-filled for fucking what they like, and they're going to be the most, a very sus episode of PWT, and they're going to be the most critical, vocal, shitty. And this is the other problem, too. Social media allows you to just, like, lick off an opinion without really sitting on something. And, like, did I enjoy that shit? You know, sometimes you watch something and you're like, you watch it back and you're like, it really wasn't as good as I thought. Sometimes you see something and it's so good, you got to go see it again. It's like the movie Straight Outta Compton. When that came out, I saw it 3 times in theaters. I've done that with other movies, but that one was like, holy shit. You know, what a great movie. The Tupac movie I almost walked out of. You know what I'm saying? Then I tried to rewatch it again and I went, it's garbage. This is garbage. So there's no time to really sit. People just see things, instantly give a reaction to it. Right? And your in the moment reaction to live entertainment matters a whole heck of a lot. So pro wrestling, I think it's more suitable to like live. This is what I thought of it live. Because it's one take, you're done. Whereas like a movie, you might see it and then you might go, this is shit. And then you pull an Angry Joe and then you go see it again. And then you're like, this is even shittier than I thought. When you see Supergirl, right? Anyway.
Don't matter, or fans watching on TV.
So it's not that the online fans don't matter, but yes, they are going to be the extreme. They're either going to really love it or really hate it. And you shouldn't really listen to that. You should be listening to people with fair critiques who might point out a way something could be better while also highlighting what was good, or the opposite if it was the shits, you know?
Or whatever, that their opinion doesn't matter. But I think that's the best feedback that you get.
100%.
I mean, and it's a gift to be able to have that feedback.
The dissonance between what wrestling Twitter says or what actually happens in a live building,
right,
is
crazy.
It boggles my mind. Like I
agree. And you can read like,
you know, and you see these AEW crowds go nuts, and a lot of people would say, because you hear like Dave Meltzer will say this, well, it's what matters in the building is what matters. And that's true. That's so fucking true. What matters in the building and in front of the live crowd, it's like Punk said, they're your boss when you're out there. But it's also like Jim Cornette says, okay, but that doesn't mean go out there and have let 2 dogs fuck. 2 dogs fucking on the side of the road. Everyone's going to fucking turn and look and laugh and cheer or fucking boo it or scream or hide your eyes, kids, whatever. So as long as you're not fucking the dog, then yeah, absolutely. You listen to what the crowd's doing. I think if people like Dave Meltzer said, well, you know what? The crowds love it and they're just they're just whittling down their audience the way I've said for so long. And I think, you know what I think AEW should do? They should charge a fucking arm and a leg for live events and shit, because them being like, we have the cheapest tickets hasn't helped them. I'm surprised Tone hasn't started doing shows on the road, like little indie setups to start like bringing cash in. I'm surprised he has not done that yet, but he's going to sue people over $105,000. Like, I just find that so odd. But not to make it about Tone, I'm just saying, like with WWE, again, you get 12,000 people paying a premium to go to these shows, and they're fucking screaming, whooping, hollering, going nuts every show. And they've had some dead crowds for SmackDown and some smaller attendances for SmackDown. Okay, SmackDown is the show that less people watch and was kind of mid for a while. I think they're shaking it up nicely now. You take a look at their live events. Their live events do gangbusters because people know they're going to see moments like Punk in there with Otis and LA Knight doing the fucking worm. And the live events are stacked again. Like way back in the day in the fucking 90s, you know, they do a live event or a B-Town, and that B-Town, like fucking Bret Hart and people are on it. You know, Ric Flair would be on that shit while Hogan's like, now wherever they do a live event, you're pretty much getting a mix of Raw and SmackDown people. You know, you're getting the stars. So I think that's indicative of what you should be listening to. When people are crying about too much talking on the weekly TV show, which there was a lot of it on Raw. The talking bits on this last Raw, I think, were the highlights out of anything. The women's match was a banger. Io goes out there and cooks, but it's like they randomly started doing Keys, like a SmackDown segment, Keys versus who was it? Jimmy rematch. And then it gets thrown out, and the crowd wasn't really too into it until LA Knight and them came out. Sell us on the PLE. Now, on the PLEs and shit, there is a lot of fucking ads. They were beating us over the head with ads on Raw as well. Even on Netflix now, they don't show me. I'm in Canada. They're not showing me extra content. They just show me fucking the music. Do, do, do. But the crowd was reacting to all that shit. And that matters in the long term. And if people were more honest about this, it would be easier to embrace AEW as like they're going out there doing what these fans love. Even Brian Last was trying to point this out to Cornette. He was like, look, man, Kenny and Ospreay, this is what the AEW fans want. You know, MJF's the smart business choice because he's drawing for him. But for the sickos, you got to do this. It's one for the sickos. Now, if they can keep doing 3,000 every Dynamite and they're happy doing like 10,000 plus tickets after Tone fluffs it and shit, more power to them. But we just got to stop this whole it's beating Raw and all of this shit. And it's not all about just who's in the building. Because if I went to Buttfuck, Tennessee, I don't know why I'm calling it that, Chattanooga, right? Buttfuck, Kentucky, whatever. Buttfuck, Manitoba there, bud, if we're talking Canada, right? And I do some indie Nick Gage shit, it might get more over than, you know, you go to the big city and they want to see like the stars and shit. You know what I'm saying? People are paying for fucking WrestleMania to pull up. People are paying for SummerSlam to pull up. People are paying for the Rumble to pull up. In the IWC, they're not indicative of what's going to work. It's the live attendances and shit, and it is the live audience that's there. So, if, again, you're having smaller attendances, the crowd's going nutty, awesome. You're going to keep drawing those smaller attendances. But if you're, what Punk is trying to say is like, we're drawing all this shit, like we're drawing all these fucking people, and they're going nutty. Listen to that. Don't listen to the online shit. Even though those are hardcore fans, they give you support. They help blow you up.
I would like,
I don't know. It's just sound advice. And again, some people would say like that's sicko cope that Phil Brooks is saying right there. Oh, just listen to the crowd. Well, these Dynamite crowds are hot for this shit. But, you know, if he were to extrapolate further, you would know what the fuck he's talking about. So we move along here. And let's get into some roster news and whatnot. It's Kenny Omega's championship celebration. I'm getting a little distracted here. The New York Knicks we'll talk about this in a sec, actually, when we talk about SNME and all of that. Let's listen to Kenny's celebration here and see what's saying. What he's saying, pardon me. The Bucks are putting him over. Crowd's chanting for him.
It's been so long that I can't even quote the real number. But it's been so long, I wasn't even sure if I could even hold this thing ever again. much as I made a promise to myself.
So he said, as much as I made a promise to myself. The red carpet's rolled out. It wasn't just myself believing in myself, and that's why I kicked your leg from your leg, Brett.
If it wasn't for you guys believing in me, I would have given up on myself a very long time ago. This wasn't something that was ever supposed to happen, trust me.
And the stipulation is, if I win, MJF can't ever challenge again or something. Or not MJF, Ospreay can never challenge again. I just make the, like, they kept doing, they shouldn't have did that with Kenny. Oh, he can never challenge again if he loses. It's like, no, dude, just because it's too cheesy. It's too cheesy. You knew he was winning that shit.
As much as I'd love to say that I'm ready, we've still got work to do. But just like the journey it was to gaining this back, I know that with the beliefs of each and every one of you, that in so days' time, you're going to see the best version of Kenny Omega.
So now Ospreay's coming out. Bruv. These three had to have been gay with each other at least once. Did he prove he's the best? I try to stay away from there. Kim Cattrall was something else. Cannot wait for them to use his celebration to set up Omega and Kevin Knight for the pay-per-view. Oi. Yeah, if they do that, that would be pretty fucking lame. See what bruv has to say, bruv. Would you mind, Bucks? It sucks that they're just like, we're friends, bruv.
May I talk on your behalf?
May I talk on your behalf? Am I good, baby? Very good. How many people are at this fucking show? I didn't plan on doing ratings wars tonight. I like to let it build up for like a week or two. The dream is over with, bruv. So he's just glazing Kenny, bruv is.
closer and closer to Wembley. It's going to heat up. We're two alpha males fighting for that beautiful championship. But I want to say this to you, man to man, away from everyone, just us. For 10 years, you have been my hero, mate. For 10 years, I've got to watch you wrestle in Tokyo domes around the world. You have inspired me to be the best wrestler that I can physically be. I can only thank you every single time I step.
So he's just thanking them instead of like, why do we want to fight each other? Someone's going to come out and they're going to get in a tag match next week. Next week we team up. Can they coexist? Oh. Fucking Garbaggio.
What we're going to do, boss man. We're going to keep it going and going. Every single week, me and you are going to be showing every single person here why we're in the position that we're in. This is my dream come true. This is the first time, really, that we can probably say that this is a real-life Goku and Vegeta fighting.
Oh my God. He said it's the real life Goku and Vegeta fighting it out. Cringe. It's middle school wrestling, man. This is just shit for middle schoolers. I've just come to realize I've been saying it for so long. Like Kenny's Omega thing there. It's like all the pictures. It's like a collage. Do. Him pinning pictures on his vision board or his like a teen girl and a fucking do. I don't want to wait for my title reign to be over. And then boom, here comes Kevin Knight. And then it's going to set up a tag match, bruv. Yeah, it's just like a show for middle school wrestling fans and like men children, you know? It's unfortunate because I watch it all the time. I watch this show more than anybody. So
why don't you just go ahead and fuck yourself up the ass?
Yeah, so at Redemption, Knight versus Omega. No, Will can stay. No, Will can stay. He's my boyfriend now. Do. I don't want to wait for our land to be over, yeah. Do. I can't stand Kevin Knight. Yeah, heel Kevin Knight. It just sucks because he's not an extension of himself as a heel. He just like talks in heel voice, Maxwell Jacob Fraudman and stuff. He's just like trying to be a heel. This person, Gabby205 on X. Phil, shut up! You don't know any of these wrestlers. Dundid says, didn't they do this last year right after when Page won, he fought for the TNT champ? Yeah, bro, it's looping. The show's looping. And this has been one match and then schmoz heavy promo stuff on this Dynamite, which I'm not hating on. I've been more locked in. You guys can tell. Like, I'm locked in on Edge Christian. I'm locked in for Kenny. I'm talking over him right now. But this is a more WWE-ish style of Dynamite thus far. And I think the crowd's into it. And you know Brian's going to be into it. And this is how you build. This is how you build to fucking All In. This is how you build to Redemption. You got to do more story-based shit. The stopwatch sickos will not be out tonight because the first hour of this show has been mostly schmoz and promos. So, or I guess over an hour. Has it not? How long did that match go? Wrestling Creeks. Do 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 do. They're booing Don Callis. Where's this Kenny like all the time? And I love that he comes out in a suit and shit. I said that. I was like, he should come out in a fucking suit and stuff. We know he's an EVP. He's supposed to be this elite-ass wrestler. When he comes out in gym shorts and a gray shirt, it's like, okay, what are you, coaching a fucking weekend volleyball team? Yeah, this segment is going too long, but like at least they're doing shit like this. Chat, don't bury it too much. When Dave Meltzer's like, "Oh, the Dynamites have been so good, the story, Brian." This is what I mean. The problem is that they're cramming in 4 things into one thing, like they always do. So when they do something good like this, it drags too long because they're doing the celebration, the bruv glazing, and then the Kevin Knight, let's explain all of the Callis shit, and then you get the title match. This is like 4 weeks worth of shit, 3 weeks worth of shit. The bruv glazing and the celebration just goes down. Kevin Knight interrupts it, says his piece, whatever. The next week, Kenny then goes, "Look, man, I'd be hard pressed if I didn't fall for Callis's shit, you know?" These are all different. Bruv glazing is like a whole separate week from this. This is like week 2 of the Kevin Knight. Week 3, Kevin Knight seems like he's listening to Kenny. No, snaps, gloms him, gets more heat on him. They don't even have to team up. It's just they come face to face again. And this time, Kevin Knight, like we think for a week, we're like, damn, this whole week, is he considering what Kenny said? Nope. The next week he punches him and whatever. Then the next week you make the match for Redemption. When is Redemption? Maybe Redemption's coming too soon. It's just they always cram too much in. They did not need Bruv to come out here. They could have just had Kevin Knight interrupt and then the Bucks be like, "We're going to stomp you out, kid. What the fuck do you think you're doing?" And then Kenny go, "No, you guys go. You guys go." I got this. Let me talk to the kid. You know? And then Kevin Knight considers what he's saying. The next week, the same thing. Kevin Knight comes out, or that's backstage. Kenny goes, "I got this. Let me talk to the kid." The Bucks leave. Knight gloms them that time. Oh, shit. Right? They're just stuffing it all into one thing. And I'm getting bored of it. Even though Kenny isn't being cringe right now, he's actually being kind of fucking cool. Sky JD, he's over here now. Been a member for 24 goddamn months.
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
Thank you for 2 years, 22 months. Pardon me. Maybe that's what I said. Okay, now Kenny's being cringe. Let's see, the crowd's getting a chant going, like they're into it. How many people are at this show? I was gonna look that up and I fucked up and didn't. Why is there's no goodness left in my heart, bro? Kane lit Jim Ross. See, now he gloms him. Then Osprey runs and then he runs away. So now you just made him look like a bitch and he is a heel. But then he gets jumped anyways by Darby. See, this is 7 things in one thing, Tone. What the fuck are you doing? And then Brian Cage comes out. Nope, I'm fighting you. He's my callous family guy. This is 8 things in one thing. So you can't react to any of it. None of it sits with you. And then you think about it the next time there's worse consequences and stuff. So they did over 3,000 people, right? And the total number of seats on the map, they exceeded the number of seats on map. So I don't know how they... this is why. The boxes included are estimates. So somehow AEW did more. They drew less than their last time in this building, but they did more than what is even on the seating map. And then Moxley, everybody's like, oh, we hate you. You're a bad guy. We all literally shut the show off during the Bumbaclaw Clan, Death Rider Clan angle. For months, for a year, you held the title hostage, and everyone shut the show off, right? They were losing like 100,000 fans per month or two. Moxley comes out, 0 reaction, and he's still a fucking heel with his heel-ass music, and he's never done anything to redeem himself after drowning and killing people and murdering and kidnapping them, so... Just a fucking terribly, terribly overbooked, hotshot booked, 0 sensibility fucking show. And that segment just pissed me off. Let's get back to WWE news. Let's see here. We need to hit the drop one more time. So, ladies and gentlemen, in pro wrestling news, John Cena has arrived to the 2026 ESPYs. Let's take a look. So I think that's that figure skater girl. I think. And so they're playing Cena's music, but he's not there. So they're like, he's at the ESPYs. Get it? It's a joke. We're joking over here. Speaking of sports crossover and ESPN crossover, New York Knicks' Karl Anthony Towns meets Liv Morgan and Danhausen ahead of Fanatics Fest. And Kat got asked if he knew who Danhausen was and said, of course, the man who got us the chip. And meanwhile, you have guys like Elbu jerking off to the Knicks winning a chip, but not realizing. Remember who was on his show, like Halliburton or no. Who was it? Was either Halliburton or Jalen Brunson or Cuervo went on his show and was like, Elbu tried to bring AEW up to him, and he's like, "Nah, I don't do that." He just shut it down. He's like, "I don't do all that, man. I'm WWE for life." And then again, Elbu's like, WWE spit in the face of NY fans after they announced an Danhausen match. And fucking Saturday night's main event is, I mean, decently stacked for what it is. It's a Saturday night's main event. That's what you do is tag matches. You do world fucking champion in a tag match or whatever. And you link up with the Knicks while you're there. And Danhausen is to be credited. Even the players themselves credit him for winning them the chip.
But you know who this is? Yeah, of course. You know who got us the chip. Give me your watch. Yeah, I need the watch.
I need the watch and the shoes. Just pocket checking them.
I got it. Thanks, Ryan.
For Nash Fest starts tomorrow. Let's go!
Craziness. And then, so speaking of Saturday night main event and the New York Knicks, it's announced Jalen Brunson has accepted Roman Reigns' invitation to SNME at the Garden this Saturday at 8 Eastern, live on Peacock. So who knows what he's going to do there? Somebody's going to get in the ring and he's going to like fake punch someone and then Roman will hit a spear or something. No, is it a moment like that? Danhausen comes out, gets involved. I mean, he does have a match actually, so he's obviously coming out. But we'll see what happens there. Crowd will go wild. And if you guys notice, they made the Saturday night's main event logo the blue, the white, and of course the Knicks orange as well in NYC. It will be a celebration. Danhausen will be there. He'll be there here. Speaking of WWE PLEs and whatnot, Triple H drops this promo and says, the world is all about survival and how you play the game. And so the 40th annual Survivor Series will be live in Houston, Texas, and you guys can see here the War Games is coming back. And I don't know, man. I discussed this on Member Monday. Become a member or gift a membership. I do weekly member shows. And you have the War Games that's going to go down, but no sign of like a traditional Survivor Series match. They should bring it back, especially if they want to be accused of lazily booking and all of this shit. It's the laziest, easiest thing you can do to debut someone or just throw people together for a traditional Survivor Series match. And I would like to see that make a comeback too. War Games is all good as long as they just go, okay, the men will be in War Games or the women, whatever story, whatever makes the most sense for War Games. And then you have the men or women who don't have a War Games. They can do the traditional Survivor Series match, even if that means more women do the traditional Survivor Series matches and more men do the War Games. And I'll tell you why, because the men in general, all men, traditional Survivor Series matches have gone down more than women. You know what I mean? So some years there might be a women's feud where it's like, that's what we want to have in War Games. The men, you just do a 5-on-5, whatever the fuck. So I'm down with War Games. I like the War Games. I don't know if I like new War Games with the roof off the thing. It was cool in NXT, but it kind of, I don't know. It'd be cool if they went fully old school and made it like the Hell in the Cell cage, and it doesn't need to be a weapons clusterfuck. But the men did a good job of having like no weapons in the last one, and I think the one before. Either way, it would be awesome to see just a standard Survivor Series match, or two even. Do one for the men, one for the women, have a War Games, and then put a title match on the show. Boom. You know, that's how you lazily fill. If you're going to lazily book everything. Now, I don't think WWE's lazy about anything. There's just not that one thing where we're like, oh my God, you know, that's all it is with WWE. It's not even that any of it's really bad. Even the goofy shit's funny, like Danhausen and shit. Like everything makes sense. Everything's, well, you know, you could definitely nitpick some things. And when you have Brock on limited dates, it's the same thing with Kenny there. With Kenny, he's a part-time wrestler. He's truly a part-time wrestler, okay? He wrestles maybe once a month. So when you have him for this Dynamite, you stuff 12 things into a segment, like we saw here tonight, Time Cop. When you have Brock, WWE goes, well, less is more. He'll just do a little bit. You know, Heyman will talk. He'll be standing there, but that's all we need him to do. Then he'll dip out. And then when you see him at, like, less is more with Brock. He's like a Mike Tyson type character. You know, he's enigmatic a little bit. Again, the celebrity factor. Like, Brock seems unobtainable. He seems disconnected. And it adds an extra layer of aura to him. And so WWE, they're like, we'll have him out there and we'll spread this out as much as possible. With Kenny, they're like, we just got to cram all this in because he's going to be gone for the next 2 weeks, or maybe he'll do a pre-tape for next week or whatever the fuck. Or he'll do a 6-man so he doesn't have to work a lot. Then he'll be gone and then he'll be back. Like, they just cram everything in. So WWE needs to find that one thing that really, like the Cena retirement tour. You can say it wasn't booked the best, whatever. It was fucking white, nuclear hot. Like, it was just an insane ride. It was a roller coaster ride, dude. It was such a fun time. And so was the Bloodline Cody Rhodes saga. And you had shit like Punk Drew cooking on that level. Like, Punk Rhodes isn't cooking on that level. Punk Drew was like cooking in that time too. And Judgment Day was doing some shit. You know, you had like peak Judgment Day with Dom and fucking even the Judgment Day right now. It's a little lackluster. Like they're doing. I like the Judgment Day. I always have, but and I feel like they've been like the most consistent. If you look at week to week to week to week to week, they're always a part of a story. And they're always involved in any range from the A, B, C storylines going on the show, right? So they just need to find that like Bloodline storyline that just takes it over the top again. And El Grande was that, but in Mexico. He would show up on Raw and he was still like, people pop for it, but he's just a glorified jobber. Let's be real, you know? So in other event, I guess, and business related news, WWE will be partnering with Real Short for an original live action micro drama. So I think what this is, Real Short, like there was for a while, a lot of these media companies, and this is like because of Snapchat, people would get like Snapchat deals and pretty much you make shows that are vertically integrated so people can just watch them on their phones. You know, so they're optimized for like vertical viewing on phones and shit like that. I think that's what this Real Shorts thing is doing. And Real Short is funny because Instagram Reel, YouTube Shorts, even Rumble calls them Shorts, Real Shorts. They're just like the best of both worlds. And they're doing a live action micro drama. So this will be something that you flip through your phone and it'll be like a 30-minute ongoing series or something, but it comes in 1 or 2 minute chunks. You know what I mean? And it'll just pop up in your algorithm. Talent appearing include Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, and Joe Hendry, and filming will begin next month with the premiere date slated for fall. So good for them. They're trying something new. I don't know if this is going to take off really, though. They'll just end up repurposing it all on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you know, and that's obviously the smart move anyways, regardless. But speaking of smart moves, man, and other acting gigs, I guess, Baki Do. So Damian Priest not only plays the Hood in Marvel Rivals, the video game, but Baki Dao, the Invincible Samurai. Season 2 is available to watch now in English and Spanish on Netflix. But first watch NXT. And again, he plays Tatsufumi Iwata, Damian Priest, and one other, obviously, because they split up the duties when it's a bilingual show like that, or trilingual, probably multi. All these fucking animes are getting translated into a bunch of different languages. But yeah, I don't know if he's only in season 2 or if he's in the first season. I've never watched this. I'm sure this came from a manga as well. Maybe not. If you're a fan of it, let me know in chat. So in other business-related roster news, guys, Enzo and Cass, Big Cass, officially back in WWE. It's clearly his silhouette. We reacted to this. I'm Mark. I'm Mark Vince Russo, bro. I'm marking out Phil S. Marks. Why don't you let me tell you how much you're allowed to mark out about this hand to God, bro? The entire dark side of the ring, bro, was spoken like this. I hand to God, bro. So I'm marking out over.
You
Enzo.
are a naive, brainless, pathetic, idiotic, clueless, dumbass Mark.
And so I have no clue if Enzo will be there. I don't know why you wouldn't fucking have him be there. And I think because we have one more Raw or two more before the August 3rd show that he's slated for. I think it's like 2 Raws. So the next promo they run exactly like this with the soft, like they showed, and we reacted to this live on PWT Member Monday. Become a member, gift a membership on YouTube, youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips. So they showed the soft. They showed you can't teach that, like a guy wearing that shirt. They showed like someone holding a sign. And so this doesn't just allude to Cass. Like if you're going to do the whole soft and you can't teach that shit, obviously that includes Enzo. Like the leopard print specifically means Enzo as well. And so they show Big Bill. Why? Because this silhouette is instantly recognizable. Like unless that's the return of a fake Kane, you know, that must be Kane, right? Unless that's fucking Kane coming back. Who else has long hair like that and is 7 feet tall and you can't teach that? Okay? So clearly, this is Big Bill. This is Big Cass, who's returning. And it's funny because he was still on the AEW roster page, but then they did remove him, but they didn't think to do it until this aired on fucking Raw, which is pretty funny. So Cass is coming back. Enzo is likely coming back. Now, he posted a GIF of him looking kind of sad, though. Like, I don't know what that GIF was meant to say. It could mean I'm not going to be there. It could mean, hey, and I'm next or whatever. I think next week you'll see Cass, or pardon me, Enzo, doing his pose, real one, doing his pose in front of the same type of graphic, and then the next one we see will be them standing together. And then August 3rd on Raw, Enzo and Cass will return. I am just so fucking ecstatic for it. And anybody who just goes, you're a WWE shill. No, dude, I said AEW should have brought them in and put them together. I've put over Big Bill. He was able to get over in AEW. He got over like Rover and TNA. Enzo got over on the indies. He cuts great promos. He helps with Fourth Rope tremendously. Helps with them. And I've always said it. I know they had that mishap in Ring of Honor. But since then, both of these guys have not only managed to get over in other places outside of WWE and have there be a demand for him. Yes, Tone fumbled him. Tone fumbled fucking Cass. He did. Because the fans were reacting to him, and he just stuck him with Brian Keith to go wrestle in Ring of Honor, and then he didn't see him, and then he left the company. It's bullshit. Both Cass and Enzo have come so far professionally. They're better professionals. They're better in their personal lives, both of them. And they're both way better workers. Cass could always work, but Enzo's night and day better than he was when he left WWE. Like night and day, if you've seen any of his work over the last few years. So, and he is a guest on Legion of Skanks a few times there. So shout these guys out. You can split them up as individuals, and they need tag teams right now. And the Street Profits are both about to go on paternity leave or whatever the fuck. So you need these guys on Raw. You need to fucking breathe some lifeblood. They're going to get so over. Everyone's going to be going SAWFT, Swift. And they're going to be doing that shit alongside, like, name a singles guy who needs backup and whoever the Vision's beating up that week or whatever the fuck, you know? It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And I've been waiting for this. I'm going to pop so hard. And if they come out and the music hits, do, you soft like sauce. I don't even know what he says, right? but I've just been singing it that way all week or the last couple weeks. And Enzo comes out and the crowd, blah, if they explode the way I think they will, it's like a decade of them being gone and they come back. Now, you can't tell me that's not worth it over like a Sheamus, who, no offense, I love Sheamus today. I fucking love Sheamus. I love Sheamus. I love him. Okay? Sheamus is like 50. He can still go. He's still jacked up, but he's 50. And if he came out, the crowd's not whoa, the way that I think they will be, and move the merch, whatever. His time's come and gone. He's a multi-time world champion. He's done everything there is to do. Go get some tone bucks. That's what he should be doing. Enzo and Cass, we need to really see. We need to really see what they can do. And ultimately, what it will lead to is Cass getting a world title run, hopefully as an individual too, which I think some people saw in him, even in AEW. The crowds were going nutty for him. I remember too, he was off TV for a while, and then him and Brian Keith came back to just a random Dynamite. Crowd was going ape shit for Big Bill. So I'm excited for this. Tone fucked up by not booking this. He was just scared of like, oh, Enzo will cause troubles. He's on the message boards too much. He's like worried about fucking, well, they started a fight one time. I'll fear for my life. He should have brought Enzo and Cass in, gave him the bag and pushed the shit out of them. But then again, we'd have gotten knockoff versions of their catchphrases and shit. And so we move along here. And speaking of people on the roster and rumors and innuendo that's flying around, that's unfounded and unwarranted. Because again, there's nothing that proves Enzo's returning. And the GIF that he posted, I mean, we can look this shit up. The GIF that Enzo posted almost kind of looks like it could mean anything, right? Like it could be a positive, or it could be he's like sad that he doesn't get to go to WWE or whatever, right? Like he posted this and it's with a tear in his eye. So does this mean I'm happy for my friend Big Cass? Does this mean I'm disappointed because I won't be there? Does this mean it brings a tear to my eye because I'm coming back? I don't know. This could mean so many different things. But in other unwarranted, unfounded fucking rumors, as far as we know, according to Self-Made, now these guys keep being wrong about a bunch of shit. They keep getting called out for making shit up about AEW and WWE alike. They're the laughingstock of dirt sheets. They really are. And this is Elboo's shit rag here, where he's one of the people involved in this shit rag. And they say Braun Breaker has reportedly been frustrated with how much of his creative played out earlier this year. Now, this is a lie, okay? You know how I get some allegedlys, and I've been spot on with a couple.
Allegedly.
But it's not me being spot on at all. It's just what I'm being told is spot the fuck on with some of this shit. I'm telling you right now, motherfuckers are like, this is a lie. You know what I mean? Like outright, this is not true. So Breaker also explored his creative options. Okay. That's what you do in the wrestling business. So that's non-news. Holding conversations with people within the company about pivoting away from his current creative direction and into a different one. Now, this is what it is at the most. WWE's talking about how do we pivot him away from the vision and shit. And then these guys get lied to about it's some other shit completely. Remember Punk was supposed to go back to AEW, guys, like a couple weeks ago, and it was signal boosted by these assholes and all these other assholes. Look at this shit. Almost 9K likes. This is not true. Okay? They have a plan for Braun Breaker. They've always had a plan for Braun Breaker. Things like Seth getting hurt and things like this, it might have fucking ruined some plans and made them have to pivot. That's the beauty of pro wrestling. And I think we're going to get to a time where the vision breaks up, guys, and I don't think it'll be too long. I think Paul Heyman leaving them and being like, well, what the hell do you need me for on this past Raw? I think we're going to see it come together. right now over me. Right? You can't believe self-made about any of this shit. And whether Breakers had discussions about how do we get me to a world title. Yes, that's always the discussion they're having with this guy. He will be a world champion. Doesn't matter what you think, what I think, what JJ Alexander thinks, it does not matter. Okay? They are going to push this guy. He is a guy that has been chosen. You're a fucking chosen guy. He will at least be a world heavyweight champion. Is he the longest reigning WWE champ? No. Like in 2K, he's like the destroyer WWE champion in the story mode, the My Rise or whatever. He's like the reigning WWE undisputed, no one can touch him guy. Right? And he's like the final boss of the shit. And so is Jacob Fatu. So that tells you a lot of what WWE see in these guys, right? Look at Sheamus's career. People are like, oh, Sheamus never won the Intercontinental title. He won every belt there is ever other than that one. Like, it's fake. You guys know that, right? It's not real. Like, why are we focusing on that? What did they do in the 2K I think the game where Sheamus, where the story mode was about like the UK faction, I think that was called WWE 13 or something like that. And I think that was like the last one Punk was on the cover of as well. And what did they do with Sheamus? They literally gave him every belt that there is in that story mode. And then in real life, he won every fucking belt there is other than the IC. So when the video games go, hey, Breaker's the reigning WWE champ that nobody can touch, you best believe your ass that that's something that's being discussed, motherfucker. Like, that's how they view the guy. Or else he wouldn't be that in their game and shit. It would just be another story about Roman reigning supreme and shit. You got to understand this shit. I'm not saying it's just the game that indicates this, but that's another indicator. Braun's in your face. He's on TV. He's a tag champ right now. Until when? We don't know. People bark for him. So you mean to tell me Theory doesn't turn his back on Breaker down the line and we're building to Mania and maybe we get a Theory versus Breaker match or something, and then we start pushing Breaker as in the World Championship? It could happen, but saying he's complaining about his creative and shit, no. There's no fucking way, dude. Him being frustrated with what? He's handed everything. He fucking hurts guys and himself, and they still are like, well, we're going to push him. So you have to be shitting me. And if he is, let's say Selfmade's right and he is complaining, then fuck him, because that would just be ridiculous. They hand you goddamn everything. But he's not doing that. Breaker is not a mark for himself like that, okay? So, speaking of marking out for shit, in AAA, El Grande Americano, we're going to head to Mexico for a bit. El Grande Americano gave Dominic Mysterio a big hug. The fans started chanting kiss, so Dom gave a kiss to El Grande Americano. And I don't know if they're turning Dom like babyface in Mexico. JJ Alexander was saying that they think Pero del Mas. What is the fucking faction again? I always botch it. What's the faction again in AAA? Chat will tell me. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm fucking butchering. I butchered it, I know, but some people are thinking he's going to head that faction up. I don't know. JJ was saying that. Friend of the show, JJ Alexander. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but he could be a really over babyface. I just think that Pero del Mal, thank you. What did I say? Pero del Mas. I said, pardon me. Plinian says it's me. I'm the faction. JJ also thought Gable was joining Otis. Exactly. No, you're right. You're right. I don't know what's going on with Dom, but if he's kissing El Grande and shit, he may make the baby face turn. I don't know. AAA's on fire, and Dom is a big star there. It's kind of crazy how he's cooled off in WWE, though. A little bit, man. Like, he should still be getting those boos and cheers. Like, it wasn't really cheers. It was cheers at the front, and then it was just a bunch of boos. the whole way through. But like when his music first hits, people are like, oh, I need to boo him, boo, when he starts talking. So he's kind of lost that heat a little bit, and they've cooled him off. I don't know why. Maybe they're just saving him till Triple Mania. Maybe they already know he's a money player. Maybe it just works better in Mexico for them. But those two teaming up would get a ton of attention, and it would be an awesome, dirty, ratty swerve for Dirty Dom to join up with El Grande for like one match, then just turn his back on him and join Pero del Mal, right? So Dorian Roldan attempts to transfer the injured El Hijo del Vikingo's AAA Latin American Championship to fellow El Ojo member Omos. However, AAA General Manager Rey Mysterio orders Omos to hand the title belt back and announces it as officially vacant. So no luck for Omos getting that title. Rey doing big moves. So again, they announced that Rey is the GM. And then what happens? Okay. He makes big money moves. I'm announcing this guy's coming back, and I'm announcing this title's vacant, and I'm announcing this whatever the fuck, he's making all these goddamn moves. That's what you do with the GM. Rey Mysterio's an effective GM. He goes to Raw. His job is just get people over pretty much. He ducked out of that retirement match. I don't think he even really ducked out of it. I think he just worked it out with WWE. He's like, I'm not retiring. They wouldn't just force him to. They're setting him up to. Absolutely. He's losing to people, and he's a general manager on Mexican television and YouTube. They're clearly setting him up. They're like, Rey, look, you got a job. We're never going to let you go. You're here. But like, you're just losing to motherfuckers for the most part. Yes, he gets a dub here and there, but they're just using him to get other people over. Good. That's what he should be doing. I think he wants to retire to his son, and then he takes the mask off. Maybe not. And then maybe he doesn't, and they embrace at the end. Who fucking knows? But I think he wants to retire to his son, not Gunther. Fair enough. If they build it as his American retirement and then his all retire in Mexico as well, maybe they pull a Vampiro. Vampiro did that. He had his retirement and then his Mexico retirement. Now he's doing his Canada retirement, right? So maybe he Vampiros it. I don't fucking know. But they add Rey as the GM, and then he makes GM moves. GM Punk. Okay. So speaking of making money moves, man, Club WWE. It's been the talk of the town, and WWE has finally announced prices for the newly announced WWE Club WWE. What about Club Random, Bill Maher? That's just the cringiest fucking pod ever, dude. It's so funny. You just watch it for the train wreck. It's just Maher getting loaded and smoking joints and just not knowing shit about unless they're like big time celebrities. And he just gets in all these awkward arguments or awkward interactions where he's like hitting on Bella Thorne and all this shit. It's so fucking funny, dude. You just like have to watch it for the train wreck that it is. Club Shay Shay's pretty good too. But for like a different reason, because Shay Shay like gets a lot. People are very candid with him because he's just so like, I don't know. There's something about Shay Shay where it just seems very like innocent, and he's just serious and like he's just very much a respected professional in the sports world, but he's very like innocent at the same time. Yeah, whatever. Either way, Club WWE, WWE Club, whatever. Membership is just $99 a year. $99 a year on the wall, $99 a year. You take one down, then pay for Netflix and Peacock and Netflix. And now it's $999 a year on the wall. Like, whoa, dude. Jesus Christ. Fucking crazy. WWE, you want to just like fuck me from behind too? You want to put it in my pooper too while you're at it? Like, they're just gouging nickel and diamond. I don't know if this is the time to launch Club WWE. But they know that, like, look at the fucking 25,000 diehards that'll go to SummerSlam even when everybody's like, we're wrestled out. 2 nights is too much. Fucking, there's nothing crazy. The World Cup goes down every 4 years. We just all traveled. Most WWE fans are fans of other sports, right? Most AEW fans are not fans of other sports. Most WWE fans are not fans of AEW. Most fans of AEW are fans of WWE. I've laid this out numerous times. So if you think about that, WWE fans, a lot of them probably were traveling for the World Cup and shit, and probably some AEW fans, but it's just a matter of you have to pick and choose what you go to. Even the movie theater, we're seeing people are really selective on what movies they're going to. Fucking Moana just tanked. Moana and Supergirl tanked. A fucking Obsession made for under $1 million. Blew up the spot. Highest grossing movie made under $1 million of all time. So people are being real selective. SummerSlam, there's nothing like it. This is taking it over the top where I have to be there. So let's say you have those 25,000 uber sickos, uber wackos, we'll call them, right? And they will pay for this. They will pay for this. The people who are paying the fucking, the daycare ladies embezzling 200 grand, or that HR lady who embezzled 200 grand or whatever the fuck and was spending it on like meet and greets with WWE superstars. You guys remember we covered that shit on PWT? Her ilk, they will pay for this shit. Okay. But $99 a year on top of, they expect people to have Netflix and Peacock still, I don't know, and ESPN, DMT or whatever fucking mind fuck that is. It's way too goddamn much. It really, really is. Now, if you can afford it, more power to you, I guess. Right. But when you point this shit out, you get a bunch of boomers going, well, sorry, you're too poor to fucking. It's like, yeah, but your bitch ass ruined the economy in the Americas. So why don't you go fuck yourself, you fucking boomers? No, I'm joking. Shout out all the boomers who listen to PWT, but it's $8.25 per month when you sign up for a year, and they offer some shit. So Club WWE is the ultimate WWE insider membership built for fans who want more. Here is everything included, all for just $99 a year. Exclusive content. So like you get to sign in and go to the Club WWE section on the site and get to watch like more behind the scenes shit than they already post everywhere. Like, what exclusive content? What exclusive content? What can you offer? There's already so much content. So go deeper with backstage moments. Okay. You mean like all the backstage fucking Twitter clips that are, you need to see more of that? Superstar shows. So wrestlers it'll be like, hey, a shot of brandy or whatever. And an interview exclusives. So you're seeing some interviews that other people don't get to see. An extended wrestling content you can't find anywhere else. So what does that mean? Like the Vault? What does this mean? Why don't we just start the network up then, buds? Extended wrestling content. So like, is that why on Netflix I don't get to see shit during commercials, and that will all be uploaded to the Club WWE, Club Random, the Club WWE section or whatever? I don't fucking know. Is chat triggered? I'm joking, guys. This is fucking ticketing and live events. Get exclusive ticket pre-sale access. So that's the only thing that I see this being worth it for, is like, okay, you get early pre-sale codes and like discounts for tickets and for meet and greets and shit. Okay, maybe, but then how much is it if you're paying every month? Like, what are they discounting? What's the disc? What are we talking? Like 10% of fucking a $2,000 ticket? Like, what are we talking? So flash discounts and members only live events benefits on site. And so I called this shit. And I think WWE is going to ramp up the house shows again, which obviously they've been doing that. But instead of like, hey, come to this live event, they'll do like, let's say they go to, a bigger city. They go to, let's say, Chicago, Illinois for a live event. Yes, Punk will be there and Charlotte Flair, like, Cody Rhodes will wrestle on that shit, LA Knight. Let's say they go to we're going to go to Champaign, Illinois, where Tony Khan's from. No, like name a smaller market, like a smaller city that's outside of Chicago or whatever. They'll go back to doing B and C towns on these house show loops, but you'll get like Finn Balor's in the main event, but you can, if you're Club WWE, you can meet and greet with Punk or get your picture with Liv or whatever. It's gonna come to that point as well, okay? And I called this, and it's fucking legit. It's already happening. Phil, don't miss. But live benefits on site, like dedicated entrances and lounge. So hey, you guys, if you're Club WWE and we come to your town, you get to come through this door. And here's a lounge we set up with your own bar. You can get drinks from here. Your own, this is quick access to the merch stand, whatever. And fucking name someone. Chelsea Green will be chilling out here for the first hour before the show goes on or whatever. It'll be shit like that. Members only shop. Own gear nobody else can buy. Member only colorways, limited edition capsule collections, and collaboration pieces designed exclusively for Club WWE, including John Cena's Never 17 collection. So John Cena has his own, instead of Forever 21, it's Never 17. And it's his personal collection for Club WWE. Plus flash discounts available only to members. So the shit that doesn't sell in Club WWE, when you buy those like random boxes, hey, throw in an extra $10 on this order and we'll send you a random item or whatever. You know how they do that? It'll just be what doesn't sell from the Club WWE stuff. Digital community, dedicated community forum with live chats during events, superstar AMAs and watch-alongs. Now that's fucking cool. And that's what Ant Evans was saying. Fucking, they not only stole his idea for the Hall of Fame, for the Hall of Fames by inducting moments and matches and shit, and UFC does it too, but they're stealing his idea for what Tony Khan should be doing and what AEW could have been doing this whole time and what they should have done. And then the launch of my AEW would be way more impactful right now. And so that's actually cool. Points and rewards, earn credits to redeem for prizes. This is just the start. Club WWE membership is built to grow, and founding members will be along for all of it. So obviously these sorts of things too, you want to buy in early for the sake of like, if it gets cheaper, you'll get benefits. If you were a day one member, if it gets more expensive one day, you're a day one member. So they'll just keep it the price it was. Whatever. So if it's worth it to you guys, $8.25 per month. When you sign up for a year, essentially $99. It's not too bad. Right. But it's just like, hey, pay us $100 a year and then we'll give you some shit, like just some extra content. And then here's more shit for you to buy from us. So you're paying $100 a year to just basically unlock the ability to buy more shit from WWE. So it is what it is, man. It could be worse. I don't think I'm signing up for that shit. I just got to be honest. So in WWE NXT news, guys, we're going to finish with NXT news here in this WWE segment. Patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. And I just upload a bunch of content there, and that's what's up. And the live shows, PWT member shows go there as well, unedited. and they go up there on Patreon as well. Layla Diggs has been announced out with an injury, so hopefully we see her again soon. Lillian Garcia was at NXT last night, and she says, it's been over a year since I've been here at the Performance Center, so I am very excited to be back with all of you. Thank you for the beautiful welcome last night. Let's have a blast tonight. So there you go. Everyone loves Lillian, dude. Speaking of what went down about last night, am I right, chat? Tony D versus Naraku for the NXT title next week will now be a street fight. Naraku will obviously get it done, and they were brawling in the back. They were brawling in the back in the parking lot.
Title on the line in a street fight. Get out of here. Get out.
And so Naraku will definitely win it, in my opinion. And shout that shit out. And ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, and Thursday is here. And I know they kind of deaded Thursday, at least from these segments. Your boy Phil almost did not bookmark this shit because of this, but I've decided to give it another chance. We're back doing the Wednesday bit. Let's check in with Ren Sinclair.
Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Hey. She's back. I'm back. Honestly, now that I think about it, this is like our first Wednesday since we became
double champs. Yes, I was telling them last time we are at 100% success rate right now.
Yes, we are.
But I know how much you love to work and like improve your game. Yes. And I did hear that part, and you were like, oh, I don't always talk the best or whatever you said in there. So let's go ahead. Today I have the best idea. We're gonna have a Run QCC acting class. And so we'll go ahead and start with Happy.
And yes, I saw Darby clunk his head on the fucking post and then have to rub his head. You know, he's like, just rubbing it.
Okay.
Run QCC.
Rank UCC.
Yeah, I don't know if you were quite happy, but it was good. It was like elated a little bit.
You know, like happy is pretty hard. Okay. Sometimes, right?
Okay. There was just no cake.
No cake involved, so it's hard.
Okay, sad. Rank UCC. You should have said it. Okay, go.
Ren's too funny, Doug.
The Rank UCC.
I don't know. I don't want to say it feels a little forced, but okay. Next, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do sarcastic. Don't start too early. Okay, ready? Rank UCC.
The Rank UCC.
Hello. What?
What do you mean?
I felt like you were mocking me a little bit, but I don't know if maybe that was your attempt.
Look, I might not be the best actor, but it seemed like we were pretty like it wasn't like this. It was pretty.
I don't know. I don't think you heard the nuances in mine. It was pretty good. But we can go ahead and do the last one. We'll do flirty. Ready? Rank UCC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. She said I 8. Okay, go ahead. Try. Go ahead and try. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
The Rank UCC.
That's exactly what I just did. What are you not seeing? I did that. Don't call her. Don't text her.
I don't think it was that good, Red. I think we both need out.
Mental health.
That's true too. Let's find a therapist.
Hit me up.
And then just the GOAT, Bret Hart, in the background. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Worldwide Wrestling Federation news. We got AEW news up next, guys. We got AEW news up next. AEW news. Everybody loves AEW news. AEW news. AEW news. Everybody loves AEW news. AEW. AEW, AEW, AEW. So why are they starting the main event like this long after Dynamite? It's like 5 past the hour till they even get people on the show. It's kind of fucking nutty, no? Isn't it kind of psychotic? So they're all chanting CEO. Okay, guys. Let's head over here. Oh boy, we have a segment here. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Jericho. Guys, all together now. Ichi Nissan for AEW
guy is
news,
Tony
and of
Khan.
course, the best guy is Tony Khan. So in AEW roster news, Jack Perry actually signed, according to Fightful, his AEW contract on the Dynamite segment. He had literally not re-signed until then. Like, what? What if he just held you hostage for more money? Tone would have been like, it's okay. And wasn't it a pre-tape? It's so cringe. He actually signed on the air. Real wrestling. And then Tone with his time cop picture. That's fucking so funny and cute, dude. So Hangman Page returned to AEW. And it said this: recently had a vasectomy on his graphic. And it's just so cringy.
You
man. Like,
are
this is
a
why nobody takes this
naive,
shit seriously.
brainless, pathetic, idiotic, clueless, dumbass Mark.
Like, why the fuck would you put recently had a vasectomy? Like, that's nobody's business. It's not funny. It's a shitty gimmick. And Dave Meltzer's talking about Hangman has a pinched nerve in his neck, so they're going to use him sparingly, and he's going to need time off after big matches. So here's another part-timer who's supposed to be one of your top guys. So everybody who said, hey, man, everyone's going to go to AEW and break their fucking necks and not get over. Well, we were all right. So what the fuck is going on here, dude? Recently had a vasectomy. Now, some people were upset because Kyle Fletcher did this. Okay, he did this to a fan. And I saw people online being like, dude, you can't do this to fans. Like, this is so yeah, El Hijo de Snowman. And like, see, it got almost 300 likes, but again, like 210 people responding to it. And so El Hijo de Snowman goes, this is why AEW will never reach the mainstream because of behavior like this. It is not the sort of behavior that your wrestlers should be doing in public to young children. Now, chat or in the comments below, you guys can let me know what you think. Is this crossing the line? No TNA. I think this is all good. Like, this is funny. It wasn't on TV, and just a heel being a heel. And so the mom's laughing. Like, what are they supposed to do? I'm disgusted. Like, it's the wrestler healing on your kid. It's shocking to flip the bird, I guess. And maybe it was on TV. So here's the cameraman following him. I don't know. I didn't pick this up. I just saw this clip. But I don't think this won't make you go mainstream or whatever. Like, you don't have to be that serious about it, in my opinion. Like, the kid's kind of confused, almost doesn't even get it. Might not even know what the middle finger means. The parents are just loving it, laughing. You know, it's nothing to be outraged about. I'm more outraged over this bullshit. Recently had a vasectomy. It's like, what, dude? That's like Lena Cross coming out and going, recently had breast reduction surgery or something. It's like, what the fuck? It's just cringy, bro. It's just middle schooler shit. Haha, vasectomy because penis. Do you know what I'm saying? So in other AEW roster news, Sammy Guevara was asked when fans can see him on Dynamite next, and shout out Malcolm Muscle Man Malcolm. This is what Sammy told him. He said, honestly, man, that's obviously not my call, but whenever they do decide to call, I think the last time I was on AEW was when I wrestled Darby Allin for the world title. I was given a couple hours notice, and I just tried to do the best that I could. Bro, this is fucked, man. This is a guy who's one of the pillars, quote unquote, right? And then now he can't even get a fucking bone from Tone. He can't even get thrown a bone over the phone from Tone. It's fucking crazy, dude. One of the pillars to getting yeeted because Mercedes Moné or... But he can't even be thrown a bone from Tone. And he doesn't even know when he's going to be on TV. Now, we have to add this to the list, dude. Lance Archer is like begging to be. He's just like in the background. He's not wrestling, though. He's like begging to wrestle. The Butcher and the Blade begging to wrestle. Right? Britt Baker being in shape, being like, oh, I don't know, I'm good. Camille just disappearing now that movie studio's getting sued. And you know she wants to wrestle. You have fucking Taya Valkyrie and Johnny Mundo both being like, obviously we want to be used more. When are we wrestling? Deonna Purrazzo being like, hey, I'm ready to wrestle whenever. The TNA locker room was the best. So many people, dude. And Guevara's just like, yeah, I don't fucking know, man. I'd love to wrestle in AEW again. I was called a pillar of this company. Meaning you're the foundation, meaning you don't change, meaning you stand the test of time, or you crumble, and then you have to rebuild anew with new pillars. And if that's what, so then you guys admit that everything crumbled and these guys weren't the pillars and shit? Okay. They're talking about new pillars. Well, the whole point of the pillars are they don't, they hold everything together. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, it's fucking crazy, man. It's so crazy. It's so, and it's bound to collapse because what AEW did, the analogy I made was, and I think this is an old Patrice O'Neal analogy when it comes to relationships. You don't build from the fucking roof. You know, AEW's like building the roof, and they got roofers putting shit down on the roof to fucking build the roof, and then they're going to try and put windows together with the floor, and they're like, oh, why isn't everything going perfectly? Because you started with the roof. We started with, we're beating Raw and are the best ever and the best that's ever done this, and everything's 5 stars and 55 stars. 5 stars, 5 stars. Beating Raw. John Cena, 1 million bald assholes. Like, they started like that. They tried to start by building the roof, and they didn't have a solid foundation instead of establishing the fucking foundation. And people who could be pillars, real pillars, like a Cody Rhodes, like a Punk when he came in, like Moxley, if he just wasn't booked and so badly and just did whatever he wanted and didn't realize how fucking shitty he is at this shit creatively, and he needs a filter. He needs someone to tell him what to do, and then he applies his skills, and then he gets super over like Dean Ambrose did. But when it's just him doing whatever, he's pink-haired Moxley on the fucking indies, and he's fucking whatever he's doing now in AEW, getting negative reactions when he's the final guy to come out in that segment tonight, Time Cop. He gets the least amount of reaction out of all the 12 guys who came out. Fucking Trent Beretta got a bigger reaction when he came out than Moxley. I'm not even joking. Go back and watch that. Like, that's embarrassing, bro. So, like, he could have been a pillar, real pillars. And now you have all these wrestlers begging to be on TV. Which, like, I'm not sitting there going, man, Guevara, he just doesn't have it. He's just that guy who needs NXT and shit. He just doesn't have, whatever it is, he's cringy. He doesn't connect with people. I'm sorry. He hasn't figured it out. And when the crowd starts booing him, he starts going, I don't care because I'm fucking, dude, you're on AEW. Just go into business for yourself like everyone else and go, you know what? Fuck you guys, suck my dick, and then start healing. You know what I mean? Like, you might as well. There's no, but instead I don't know. It's just been, the crowd reacts positively towards him. He just stays being heelish and cocky because that's the assignment. And then they start turning on him, and then he fucking is like, no, I'm the baby face now because Tone told me to be the baby face, even though there's no real explanation other than Jericho let me go type shit. It's just been garbage. And Sammy's supposed to be a pillar. That's why I'm spending so much time on this. He was involved in the first ever AEW match, I believe. Like, official AEW was, I want to say, Guevara versus, who is that guy? Well, I mean, we could just Google it, but it was Guevara, and he came out with the panda fur and all this shit. And so it's kind of a travesty, and he's just among the list of wrestlers like, hey, can we wrestle? Like, I kind of want to wrestle. What are we doing? So in other roster news, Buddy Matthews has been cleared for an in-ring return after a 17-month injury hiatus. And this, according to Ringside News. And so he confirmed it. The Devil signed the clearance. He hell-stamped its approval. No more barriers, only timing. So he posted it on the IG, on the gram, and Buddy Matthews will be back. Now, I wonder what they do. Does Tone bring him back with Aleister Black and put him with Brody King? Or have, like, Bandito and King be like, no, fuck the House of Black. And then, because Black's out there, dude. They could come back Buddy, Black, and Zelina. That might be hacking shitty. I think Matthews coming back and just doing his own thing might be the way to go. I'm just saying, Tone is not like the most creative fucking gem, you know? He's not the sharpest crayon in the in the crayon box, you know? To steal a Shaubism. I think he said something like that. To fuck not the sharpest crayon in the crayon box or whatever the fuck. Pencil crayon. Right? He ain't the sharpest tool in the shed creatively. So I wonder if he just goes like, okay, we'll bring Black back. And then he can team with Matthews. Hopefully they just let Matthews do his thing. But he will kind of flounder. Or maybe not. I don't know. They're giving Ciampa a lot of promo time. He's taken on the Rainmaker Jericho. Maybe Matthews can get in the mix there, win a TNT title. I don't really know what there is for him in AEW because he's incredibly skilled wrestling-wise. Tone puts a bunch of those guys in Ring of Honor, so I don't know. Let's see. And Black is out there. He is out there. Speaking of roster news and being out there, when asking about MJF's AEW redemption plans, it was indicated that he may be out for the time being. He is expected to be factored into All In plans. So he's just taking time off before All In, where a lot of people expect him to take on Mick Foley in a hardcore.
You gotta be a hoe.
I don't know if that's what will happen. I hope it doesn't fucking happen. I just don't want to see Mick beat himself up. He was looking in good shape, but then on AEW TV, he was looking in not as good a shape as he did like during the Sandman run-in. So who knows what's going on with that, but I just don't want to see that happen now. They're really leaving no time for MJF to build to anything of significance. Because it's MJF, Tone's just like, well, he's over, so fuck it, just throw him in. But he should be the guy who has like a multi-month storyline that's raging going into All In. And it's Kenny versus Ospreay. We know that. We know they were going with the one-on-one world title match. That's typically what they do. And yeah, it just sucks that MJF's not in it. If you're a fan, like you're somebody who, well, I don't know, man. I think the AEW fans are really locked in for this, but a lot of the casuals, I'll say the AEW casuals, if there are any, they do like MJF, and he has been proven a draw for them more so than Ospreay or anything. But Tone just treats it. He takes MJF for granted, really. And he's just like, okay, he can go and wrestle who? Hangman with a fucking 3-week last-minute build. He can wrestle who? Swerve with a last-minute 3-week build. He can wrestle who? Mick Foley when they're both extreme part-timers and then they do an extreme shitty match that doesn't go that long. Sheamus shockingly comes in and works MJF or something. That could be cool if, like, you built to the shit. Or maybe he's just like, he shows up and just beats MJF, and that's like a moment, kind of the way Rhodes beat Rollins at that one Mania. Maybe you could do something like that, but start building to the story of MJF being like, I want an open challenge and I want fucking, I run the show. And Jim Cornette laid out some plans for MJF and how they could have built up to him and Ospreay and all this stuff. And his idea was just way better. Because they could have did the opposite with MJF and just given him a long-term like reign of terror where he's like, no, we're not defending this goddamn belt every week. You're lucky if I even defend it on a pay-per-view. I'm in movies, bitch. But instead, MJF tries to babyface the AEW fans by being like, and also I'm a 5-star wrestler, bud. And it's just like, no one cares about that, dog. That's the least thing we care about when it comes to you. So we'll see. But yeah, don't expect him to be on Redemption at all. And in other roster news, Big Bill was announced. He's returning to WWE. Okay? He and possibly Enzo, Big Cass and Enzo Amore will return to WWE. And I just posted this. He was still on the roster page at the time that they ran that vignette on Raw, but then he was removed from the roster page like the next day. So again, I don't know how he leaves the company and then Tone just like helps him out by keeping him on the roster page. You got to be on top of those things, Tone. You're trying to fucking felt WWE. What's going on? Right? And all of this culminates in a poor lead up to Wembley. And that's what Jim Cornette goes absolutely off on in this clip that we're going to listen to after this post right here. So Neon's ex-girlfriend was caught throwing cake at the gym after realizing she had completely fallen off. And then Anthony Bowens, who I make the joke all the time, I'm like, dude, he pops up everywhere. This guy's on random red carpets. He's being invited to this. You see him at fucking that. WWE's does the Tudums, or Netflix does the Tudums, and WWE's there and they're promoting WWE. All of a sudden, Bowens is there. Right? You see him at fucking everything. I make the joke. Like, he just shows up in these ad campaigns. I'm like, push Bowens. What the fuck are we doing? We need to push Anthony Bowens. Here he is, Neon, if you guys know that fucking cringe lord, and his ex-girlfriend, I guess, one of these random chicks, I have no fucking clue. they're throwing cake at the gym, and Bowens is in the background, and he's like, I was wondering who the fuck these people were. And he just shows up in this viral clip.
I have no balance. I have no balance. We're gonna fall into that metal plate right there. Oh, friend eating. She just finished her set. She's not really bothered by the camera when she's like trying to catch her breath.
Look,
I can guarantee you guys that.
in the background working his
You
shoulders,
guys are OD. Trust.
I was putting a lot, but I'm good now. I just
working his delts and shoulders, dude.
Let's go. 12. Come on, team.
So like that's him. If you guys can see him there, like he's just working out, and then he quote tweeted.
Come on, team. Hi, Dad. What do you need?
I don't know, just cringe lord shit. Who watches brain rotted? The fuck are they even talking about? Anyways, so also at Wembley, of course, AEW is going to be charging VIP packages and whatnot. And this fan, Jamie Huddle, had this to say: AEW needs to step up their VIP experience. You charged people $800 a person to meet a Maya World, AR Fox, and a fucking referee. Get the fuck out of here. I love AEW, but this is some bullshit. And that's the problem, too. This is where you're too big for your britches. This is what I talked about, building the roof and then just like scrambling to build the basement after. You got to start from the ground up. So you cannot all of a sudden just be like, I'd love to go to Paris. I'd love to go to Puerto Rico. Let's go to Australia and charge $200 a ticket. You're not WWE, fam. You're not WWE, Tone. Hey, all in. 20,000 people are going. Nobody cares. Okay, an AEW house show in New York outdrew, if you're to listen to Thirsty Thurston's turnstile numbers, a house show for WWE in New York outdrew All In, your WrestleMania in fucking America, in Texas, of all places. There's like 1 billion people in Texas. No. You can't just be like, it's All In, so we sold 30K tickets, but $800 for a VIP. Yo, VIP, let's kick it. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you can meet Maya World and AR Fox and Aubrey Edwards. They announce it after. If WWE pulled some shit like this, everybody would cry, melt down. Shut up, bitch. They would have fucking, how dare they, this capitalist scum, blah, blah, fucking blah. But Tone just goes, well, Maya World's been on TV and AR Fox a beast, bro. No, man, people want to meet the stars, but Tone can't facilitate that because everyone's a super duper part-timer and they don't even have to answer him when he texts, and he's known for ghosting people. So they can just ghost. Like, they don't have, Christian Cage has to come to work. Guess what, guys? When he wants to. That's when he comes to work. Guess when Edge comes to work? You guys ready? When he wants to. Guess when Kenny Omega and the Bucks come to work? Ooh, when they want to. Guess when MJF comes to work? When he wants to. So you can't like orchestrate these fucking things, and it just doesn't feel like big business, dude. And again, this is where we compare. Like, Tone has to rent out the 90,000 seater, put 30K in there. Meanwhile, WWE's getting paid to put only 25,000 people in the 60,000 seater. Now, that's shitty that they did that. I'm sure some of the fucking people are none too pleased who are hosting SummerSlam, who thought it would shift economies the way it did in fucking Vegas. And it will to some degree. For sure, it'll have some effect on some of the tourism and shit, but when you're AEW, you don't have that effect. That's why also this whole cope of like, well, when WWE's in Saudi, what about when they're in Saudi? Joey Janela could go run spring break, whatever the fuck. The indies don't need AEW. Oh, if AEW runs a show, you guys don't need AEW. You guys don't even need them, and you could do this shit. You could do similar shit to what they're going to do. Fucking 15K people buy tickets to an AEW show, and then we're going to pack a week full of fucking all the fans will show up from all over where the world and shit. No, it would have just happened naturally. would have happened naturally when they did All in Texas. Fucking 20,000 people at the most bought tickets to that shit. What does that do, bro? You're in Texas. When you're in New York, and this is what this is what WWE does at a house show. 19,000 people in New York. Why? Because there's 1 billion people in New York. There's like more people in New York or Cali or whatever than all of fucking Canada, for instance. It's crazy. It's like, you got to really think these things through. You can't charge $800 a person and then say, here's Maya World, and I like Maya World. But it's like, that doesn't sell. Not even Monet. You know what I'm saying? It's insane, dude. You have to add people to that. Hopefully Tone adds people to that. And this is all building up to Wembley. And here's Jim Cornette's thoughts on the AEW Wembley build disaster. Shout out The Experience. Shout out The Drive-Thru. Shout out Brian Last and James E. Cornette. Here's his thoughts on the build up to Wembley thus far.
I guess the bigger thing, and we could talk about it as the show goes on, is where are they going, and what
if they
what
try
is
to,
or what should be the main event at Wembley at the way things are going right now on this show.
If they try to change this from Will Ospreay beating MJF, the only true heel and legitimate kind of ratings mover in the company, not my opinion, just based on the statistics and the reaction. If they change that to Ospreay winning the title in his home country from not only a guy that's past his prime, is broken down, that ain't going to wrestle a full schedule probably ever again, but also another baby face.
And I talked about this on the Member Monday. Become a member, gift a membership on youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips or join patreon.com/ProWrestleFucking-Times. Not Pro Wrestle Fucking Times. That's probably some weird shit. Pro Wrestle Times, though. I talked about this on Member Monday. WWE's doing the same shit too, where it's a lot of like heel versus heel, babyface versus babyface shit, tweener versus tweener. But the problem is, like, you just kill all of this momentum and heat. And Jim's so right about this. Like, MJF is a true heel. He could have held this, and then that would be like a moment for Ospreay where he wins it off the dastardly. They tried to do that with Hangman Mox. It didn't fucking work because nobody likes Mox, and they were turning the fucking TV off for Mox. Nobody talked about the Hangman thing. They took the belt off him a month fucking later. Nobody talks about All in Texas anymore, other than what the fucking ticket disaster was. Nobody talks about that shit. So they had the chance to really like do something to get Ospreay over and make it special, and like he conquers this big bad boss. But instead it's just friends versus friends, and good guy versus good guy. Just kills all the heat, and now it's all just like, it doesn't matter what happens between then and now. It's just like, hey, this is going to be a banger match, bruv. Okay, but that's every Dynamite. Tones even said it. That's every pay-per-view, every Dynamite. They just give banger match. Banger match, banger match, banger match. Okay, so then what the fuck is the point of that? It's like, why would 90,000 people be drawn to that? Do you guys think about this at all?
Probably is more popular now because people are feeling sorry for him, that he's about washed up and on the end of things. How is that a triumph in your home country to beat another popular guy?
Well, he's a good wrestler, bruv.
As good.
Well, he wrestles good, Jim, bruv.
As MJF and fucking Ospreay, because then you could actually have a match. There's somebody to root for and somebody to boo. MJF is not going to try to do all that fucking goofy, stupid indie shit that Omega does. He's going to have hopefully as logical a match as possible and get Ospreay fucking over. And it's not going to be the same shit we see from every other one of these 5-star fuckwits that Meltzer praises.
A 5-star fuckwit.
And they had a ready-made story. Ospreay, career-ending injury, has surgery, comes back. begins the climb to the top while MJF could have had a goddamn reign of terror beating all these people. And then you peak them in August. And instead, they've muddled this whole thing up. And now we're trying to. How is that going to convince people to buy any tickets for Wembley Stadium when they're making people doubt that they're going to see MJF and Ospreay to begin with?
Well, I don't think the match is a draw. I don't think MJF Ospreay is going to draw people there. I mean, Omega.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and also, well, I mean, Jim's cooking. What else can you add to that?
Particularly more than anybody that's already bought the ticket. But if they think they're going to see Omega and Ospreay, aren't they going to ask for their money back on what they've already bought?
Oh, they may like that more. The AEW fan?
Christ.
The AEW fan? A main event of
yeah,
their
just an
all-time-
Uber, like 20K people like that more than 60,000 when you're telling stories. That's it's really what it is. Jim's like baffled by it. He's like, what? He can't believe it, but he knows.
Legend Kenny Omega versus the heir apparent Will Ospreay, and it's a title change, and it's at Wembley, and they can go 35 minutes, and Omega can have one last match where he puts everything out there. And because here's the other thing, if that isn't where they're going, explain what they're doing on this show. Because
I can't.
I can't, he says.
Made me not want to see MJF versus Ospreay. And
I just
MJF's
don't-
continual thing with Mark Briscoe, and it's nothing against Mark Briscoe. I've liked him plenty in the past. I don't dig any of this.
Yeah, like I don't give a fuck who MJF wrestles now. Even if they're like Sheamus, it's like, okay, well, you had a story going though, and then it just went nowhere. And then Kenny could have been the one, like, imagine this. Kenny goes, look, I don't have much in me. An open challenge to anyone in the back. Who wants it? It's Sheamus, or it's like Kofi Kingston or some shit. And then they have a banger, AEW legend. Kenny goes over. Right? You're paying these guys from WWE how much money? Kenny goes over. It's like a banger of a match. Banger after banger after banger. And then Kenny goes, okay. And then after All In, he goes, I have one last title run in me. I have one last title run. Then he puts it on the line. If I lose, Ospreay, look, I don't have a lot of time left. We're buddies, but it's me and you. And if I don't win this goddamn belt, I'll never do it again. Then you can't take it off Ospreay. Okay, then don't do that stipulation. But you guys get what I'm saying. It just would have been cooler to see, like, and maybe that's too WWE-ish, but look at the ticket sales, man. It's all you have to do. Oh, they're hot on TV right now and shit. I mean, maybe. Maybe. We'll see if that continues. It just seems like it fluctuates a bunch. And if there's other shit on, I just think those floaters are like also majorly WWE fans. I got to be honest. And I think those are the I've broken this down so many times. I think that like 200,000 people that float in, there's like 500,000 that'll watch AEW at whatever fucking time or whatever show, as long as it's like Dynamite, Collision. And then we know if like Collision goes on at any wonky time, they could put it on at 2 a.m. It'll do at least the lowest it's ever done, I think, was like just shy, like just under 200,000, right? So there's, let's say, like 150,000 fucking sickos where you could do this show on the moon and they'll watch it. I've said that a billion times too. But those floaters are like, those are the people who also float when SmackDown's on and Raw's on and TNA and shit. Like, those are people just floating around wrestling in general. Those, I don't think those people are like the diehard AEW fans. And why do I think that? Because the attendances, the fucking attendances of AEW, that's the biggest indicator. And so you look at the attendance of Wembley and it is somewhat of a disaster. Why? Because the build. It's all predicated on the build. It's all because tonight's Dynamite, time cop, depending when you're listening or watching this, they had 15 people. They squished like 5 weeks of Kenny Omega storyline into fucking 1 week because he is a part-timer. It's just incredibly unfortunate when you have something there and then you're looking at the short term, and people say releasing Sheamus from WWE's looking at the short term. Where the fuck is John Alba talking about the short term booking and thinking of trying to pop a rating at the doing what was it? They were at the go-kart track, the ball field, the glow bowling alley, the golf course. They're doing the Ferris wheel next week. No, where the fuck were they? The beach show for Beach Break. And yeah, you pop a rating. It's a cool venue. I don't even know if they popped that great of a rating. I forget. But the world title switches, that's all fine and dandy, but that's just like immediate satisfaction instead of like milking what you have with MJF. That's the long-term booking. You won't hear any of these shills go, oh, the long-term this is very short-sighted. They just make excuses. Well, clearly it's long-term because Tony is booking Ospreay to win at All In, and it's been building to that this whole time. Yeah, I mean, we've kind of been building to that this whole time. It's just lazily pussyfooting its way there because we just know that's what's coming. And so none of it matters. So Tone just goes, hey, babyface versus babyface. Throw everything else out the window. And it's fucking bullshit. It's just not fair to the fans. It really is not fair to the fans overall. Okay? Now we have two big stories here to do. Okay? These are the big stories. They're great. They're great and they're big and they're huge. Okay? So it is time for Law and Order, folks. AEW is suing the film The Queen of the Ring starring Camille and Tony Storm and others. Now, this shit created a bunch of controversy online, and including myself, dude, I responded to a tweet where someone was like, why would this be indicative of anything wrong going on in AEW? Or like, why would this be cringe or like an L for AEW to do this? And why would anyone extrapolate like them being desperate from this and all of that? And it's because of perception. And that triggered so many people. When you use logic and reason, people just spurg out, actually, you're a dumbass. It's like, all right. I mean, you don't, just the perception of AEW right now is they're kind of scrounging. Now, a bunch of the sickos, a bunch of the ultra AEW fan bases, the cult fans are like sitting here looking at AEW suing for more than $105,000. $105,000. Now, yes, get the $105,000 that's owed or whatever. But for the sickos and shit to defend this and go, oh, well, they're doing business moves now. Isn't that what everyone wanted? They're sending a message. Okay, but you're the guys who cry when TKO does this. You're the same people who claim you don't care about this stuff until it's time to care about this stuff. Just like with the TV ratings, just like with attendances, you guys claim this shit does not matter. Until now it matters, you cherry picking motherfucks. Fuck you. People are tired of tard wrangling these fucking sickos, dude. Like, it's cringe, dude. They are clearly trying to scrounge up the writings on the wall that AEW, and this doesn't mean they're broke and desperate and da-da-da. No, but they are trying to scrounge up cash. Listen, guys, my AEW is a big endeavor. Tone, regardless of if he gets a deal, because again, none of you people like spend every week doing this like I do. So just shut the fuck up. And I'm no expert, but just listen to me. Okay? Regardless if AEW gets a TV deal from Amazon, let's say, which I heard allegedly, and not trying to blow up anyone's spot, WWE's talking to Amazon about something, and that could be a giant cock block.
Allegedly.
If that's true, then that could be them trying to cock block. I won't. WWE's petty as fuck. I'm not gonna. But let's say Amazon, because that's what everybody says. Even if they give Dynamite a TV deal, well, guess what? That's not a TV deal for my AEW that Tone's signing up all these indie feds to, and Tone has to go find the advertising for. Because they have to, the indies that are on there are getting paid ad revenue for being on my AEW. So how's Tone he's just gonna pay them. They're just gonna run AEW ads on fucking these indie shows. They're selling season passes and shit for these indies. They have to monetize my AEW, stupids. So they need money. This takes resources. Just because Tone, I know everybody. They're not gonna have WB on this solo endeavor going, hey, yeah, put a Superman ad on my AEW. That's great. If AEW doesn't end up on TBS, like if they're not with Warner Bros. Anymore, we don't know if Paramount's going to go, what's a Paramount show? Yellowstone, right? Is that a Paramount show? They're not going to, Bar Rescue. They're not going to be like, hey, run these Bar Rescue ads. Maybe Paramount will if they keep AEW around, whatever. Maybe for the time if they P. Diddy them. I always said, too, they might keep them around and fucking shelve them. Right? I'm very optimistic when it comes to AEW. Like, I'm not even saying it'll just be cooked on TV entirely. If TNA got a TV deal, AEW probably get a TV deal from somewhere. But if WWE just cock blocks it everywhere, like it seems like they're trying to do, then who knows? That might not bode well for them. And Tone knows this because he's not fucking stupid. And my AEW, the reason they're accumulating. Why aren't they accumulating a bunch of Mexican indie promotions and putting it on my AEW because it's going international? Why aren't they making a deal with Uganda, Soft Ground Uganda, and they're out looking in Canada? Or I don't even think it'll be rolled out in Canada, but my AEW's international right now, right? So why are they accumulating a bunch of American indie feds to put on their platform? Because they're not going to roll it out as the premier destination to watch AEW Dynamite and shit. Like if Amazon picks them up, they're going streaming. If Paramount picks them up, guess what they did? They paid the UFC $7.7 billion to not do pay-per-views anymore. And to do these major events to get views and shit like this. If AEW ain't bringing that to the table, which they're not, Paramount does not give a fuck about, oh, well, they do pay-per-views and they do strong viewership and they get 600K. Then you have all these fucking tards who look at the Netflix viewership and they're like, oh, compared to the WWE. Bro, Nielsen, and this is why we do ratings wars. This is why it's its own segment. Nielsen uses multipliers and all this shit. Netflix tabulates views. Netflix is more akin to like YouTube. Okay, it's not akin to like Nielsen where they use these multipliers. There's a reason why, let's say the Tonight Show, you have whoever is hosting it gets paid $70 million. Then Spotify pulls up and gives Joe Rogan $100 million for a podcast. There's a reason for that, guys. Millions watch this show, millions watch that show, but millions are watching on TV with multipliers and shit. Like, does this need, you guys want to talk ratings when, oh, we did 700K. You don't even know how they work. And I don't even know how they work, but I know how they work better than you motherfuckers. Right? So when I go on Twitter and say, dude, they're suing for $105,000, and Switchblade pointed this out. The Jaguars were being embezzled for years for millions, and their fucking accountants couldn't figure that shit out. Their accountants didn't spot it anywhere. Right? 105K after like a few years now since this movie came out. And AEW's like, we got to get that. And people are like, you don't think that AEW lawyers are just ready and waiting? Yes, of course they are. They're fucking lawyers. Do you know how expensive Tone's lawyers probably are? And how many fumbles have we seen over the year, pun intended, because football related, over the years with their legal and all of this shit? How many conspiracies and weirdo shit and what's her name? Mega or whatever, like the fucking story swirling around, surrounding all. She had to leave AEW and her focus is just with the Jaguars and shit. And then they get caught like someone's fucking embezzling money from them or whatever for years, and they don't, millions of dollars, and they don't notice. But then this $103,000, they're like, we need to get this from, by the way, a kooky ass production company. You guys remember this production company who did Queen of the Ring? They were going at WWE. So $105,000 in sponsorship fees. It's like, listen, it just shows you. And again, They're doing business moves is exactly what I'm pointing out on Twitter and shit. When I tweet something like the writing's on the wall for AEW, this is what I mean. Tone is actually seriously trying to do business moves now, and he's got to be responsible for running ads on other people's shit. And now they got a nickel and dime. Apparently they're nickeling and diming Sheamus. They don't want to spend to bring him in. Jack Perry, hey, we're not going to spend a bunch of money on Jack Perry. You take what we give you. That's the mentality. They let Jake Roberts go after forever, so they're tightening up, they're nickel and diming, and they're going after 105,000. Now Tone's starting to run shit like a business. The sickos are what do you think, idiot? You're just dumb. Didn't you want them to run it like a business this whole time? Yeah, so the writing's on the wall. I'm right. You guys have been wrong this whole time. People like Bischoff have been right. You got to run this shit like a business, or you're going to run into this problem later. And you're going to spend more than $105,000 on fucking lawyers to recoup the $105,000. And even if you get the $105,000, the fucking people, what's to say they don't fucking pay you? They don't have anything to their like, we don't know. And the state of this manic ass production company that helped put this shit together, having meltdowns on Twitter, on the official movie fucking Twitter. Yeah, that's the guy to try and get, like, this is a fucking write-off for, they have billions of dollars. Exactly. Then why are they going after this? This is gonna get dragged out, and they're gonna spend more than this. Right? And Tony should have set a precedent early the fuck on. And all these people who think, oh, they're running it like a business, W. No, it's a pwn. You're not pwning me. You're proving my point for me. And you're proving everybody right who's ever any detractor, any fucking critic, any old fraudcast grifter, anybody who's in the business who said this, they're just proven right. That's the ultimate own. Good for Tone for doing business properly. I never said fuck Tone. What a scumbag. They're running out of money, and they'll never run out of money. And that's the problem too. People argue with motherfuckers on social media, then you put out a tweet, and then they just assume all the shit that other people said about AEW is what you're saying too, and then they just add all this extra. Motherfuckers. Clearly, Tone is operating shit. He's nickel and diming. He's minding his P's and Q's. He's clearly trying to operate the shit. He's going to be responsible for paying out all these other feds with ad revenue and shit. And clearly, this is why he didn't sign a bunch of Japanese feds and Mexican feds and, I don't know, feds in fucking Africa and all this shit. Wherever my AEW is international, UK feds. He signed a bunch of Canadian and American feds to my AEW. Why? Why did he do that? Well, let me explain why. And why is my AEW available everywhere except for Canada and America right now, dumb fucks? Let me explain it for you. Because the people internationally are going to buy it just to see Dynamite and Collision. That's the selling point. Hey, here's Dynamite and Collision, and maybe some podcasts that were blocked on YouTube in your country. I don't know, right? You accumulate the indie feds in the States and Canada and things like MLP and shit like that, because they're clearly going to roll it out in North America. Is it in Mexico? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's already rolled out there, but they're going to clearly roll it out. And then all these indie promotions promote it. And then that's their way of getting like a foundation. Like, if you like this indie fed, you're going to fucking sign up for not just AEW, but shit, man. I like MLP. Oh, I get MLP. Shit, I can keep up with that. And then you buy their season pass and shit. Clearly, that's what Tone's doing. If you guys don't recognize that, you're just mentally ill. I'm sorry. It's like when WWE's buying up all the tape libraries and then they roll out the network. And then the network's the thing. Well, why did they do that? Why is Tone buying up all of this current shit? And when he was asked about, like, this is the thing. I know more about what's going on in AEW than you motherfuckers who think it's cringe for me to go, why would they even go after this? Like, the writing's on the wall for these guys. They're clearly planning on being on my AEW and YouTube primarily. And then maybe they land some shit on like an Amazon, but then where does that air? That's just like a streaming. So they'll be on a streamer. Like, why are they announcing we're on Roku and fucking Tubi and all this shit? It's just to promote and get ad revenue in as many different ways as they fucking can through established, like Roku finds the ads for you. YouTube finds the ads for you. What do you guys not get? Netflix, they find the fucking ads for your shit. Like being on streamers, they will put the ads there for you. That's why they're doing all of this. Hello? And why are they banking up on indies in the Americas? Whoa. Because in the Americas, you can watch Dynamite and Collision on TV. Okay? The reason why some people have ITV or whatever the fuck it's called in the UK was to watch Dynamite, or it's free to everybody or whatever the fuck. All I'm saying is that, like, that's the appeal. I need to watch Dynamite somewhere. I got to go to my AEW. The appeal to people in America, you just be like, okay, who gives a fuck? I just watch the shit on TBS. Why would I pay $9.99? It's because all these other feds are going to be on there, and they are on there, and they're going to roll it out. It's so simple. A blind man could see it. Magoo could fucking see it. Mr. Magoo, that is. Mr., not Mrs. And they're trying to squeeze 105,000. And this is the problem. They know this production company's not only mannequin shit, but AEW clearly fucked them. And then they spurged out about WWE, but they know Tone's a punk. And so they don't care. He never set the precedent early. So Julian Weeks says, I remember that Queen of the Ring account throwing shade at WWE continuously. And again, like, this was the movie's Twitter. So this is the guy Tone's trying to get his 105K from. Like, it's not even worth it, dude. The movie the WWE doesn't want you to see, based on a true story, certified fresh critics and audiences. You should ask them, talking about WWE, why they tried to block us from running TV ads during Raw, illegal. Why they asked us to sponsor their events. We agreed to the financial deal. Then they pulled us out last minute. This is just a glimpse into the sabotaging behavior. Perhaps we will expand on intel. We said they tried to. They obviously didn't succeed because we got the ads to run. We will reveal the full story soon. So this dude's like, bro, we saw ads. And Tony Khan, I think, is that Tony Khan in his profile? Maybe not. Just a guy with a goofy smile. But he goes, dude, I've seen the ads for your movie during the commercial breaks on WWE programming. They're like, well, we said they tried to, but they didn't pull it. Then why are you complaining? AEW sues Queen of the Ring production company over unpaid sponsorship fees. There was other tweets. We covered it on PWT Live before. And so they allege more than 105,000 now. The Observer, and we can run a flute real quick. Dave Meltzer, whoever writes the articles for them, in their tweet about this, they wrote fucking $1.5 million because they and it's just Bush League at the Observer. Big time. Yeah. And they wrote 1.5 million. Whether that's on purpose or not, I don't know. But they have zero editing and they don't even know how to use commas over there. Okay, so All Elite Wrestling is suing the production company behind Queen of the Ring, alleging that more than $105,000 in sponsorship fees for promoting the film are long overdue. Ring Productions LLC, the business entity that produced the movie, signed a sponsorship deal in 25, agreeing to pay AEW approximately $350K in exchange. Queen of the Ring got sponsored matches on AEW programs. Members of the film's cast shown in the front row of AEW broadcasts. Meanwhile, Tone's such a cocksucker. Like, you have a wrestler who looks like $1 million who's in the movie as the villain. And you just don't even, they have to pay you to feature her on the fucking show. You're a scumbag. AEW broadcasts in-arena plays of the movie trailer, AEW talent hyping the film on their social, among other benefits. Although Ring Productions paid a total of $250 by May 23, it allegedly failed to meet the February 28 deadline to make the latter half of the payment. According to the lawsuit, the company still owes a remaining $100,000 plus over $5,000 in contractual talent travel expenses. AEW is also seeking interest on the late payments at 1.5% monthly interest rate that's defined in the contract. AEW attached the contract and a related amendment as exhibits to the lawsuit filed in Duval County, Florida. I mean, come on, dude. It's just like, It is kind of funny. Like, oh, they're making $3.6 million a year, and they're gonna spend more than $105,000 in lawyers' fees to try and get this $100,000 back. And they waited till February. So why was this overlooked? They gave them ample time, sure. But the same people who overlooked that shit and gave them time are the same people who let the Jaguars get embezzled for fucking millions of dollars for years. So it's just weird, dude. It's just a weird situation. And again, they want to flex AEW's money and how who cares what the roster makes. Everybody gets paid. Go to AEW and get paid. And then you point out people aren't worth what they're getting paid because the attendance is, or lawsuits are about to reveal what wrestlers are getting paid, and then the sickos spurg out. We get proven right again because it's like, yo, Tone does zero business moves. Like, he's so bad at this. What the fuck is going on there? Why is there always issues with this and that? No. And then shit like this happens. Well, he's just making business moves. Okay, but you guys don't care about that. Right? They're nickel and diming Sheamus now all of a sudden. Don't you sickos want Sheamus in the company? So it is what it is. It's just another massive L for the IWC, who don't think that they are going to fucking appear, like, not appear, but be primarily hosted on my AEW/YouTube, and then Amazon gives them however much money, and then you can also stream them on Amazon Prime. But like, does Amazon have like a network television? Does Amazon have a network television affiliate or like, or something like that, you know? Like, I don't know how to word this. They don't own or operate any traditional network television affiliates or broadcast networks. So, you know, it is what it is. So let's move along here to everyone's favorite part of the segment, and it is called The Best Guys, Tony Khan. And we're going to make fun of Tone here a little bit, or see if he's based. Let's see if he's based a bit. First and foremost, let's head on over to My World with Jeff and Karen Jarrett. And they talk about how Tony Khan gets too much shit online, and he's just such a nice guy. So let's listen
to you about somebody else that a lot.
Oh, come on. And of course, shout out Conrad Thompson. If you click below, you can save money on shout outs to me. Conrad Thompson. Chat me up, Karen Jarrett, about fucking around on Kurt Angle. At Starcade 97, Eric.
A lot of people have a strong opinion about, but I wonder if those people have ever met him. What's your experience been like with Tony Khan?
That man gets so much shit online that he does not deserve.
No, he deserves it. He's also given people shit online that didn't deserve it, like John Cena and The Undertaker. And none of these wrestlers address that. They just get paid by him, so they all sweep. I'm never going to fault fucking Jeff Jarrett. Who knows how to work someone for money harder than him, dude? Did you watch The Dark Side? You know what I mean, dude? He fucking held Vince hostage. Like, who has the balls to do that? So these two are just going to work and lie and say shit to appease Tone. And he's a great guy. Like, yes, he doesn't deserve, I'll say this, I don't know if he deserves to be called like cokehead and crackhead and like people AIing pictures of him with like piles of cocaine. Like, that's crazy savage to like imply that really about anybody, you know? It's just very hurtful, especially if they have a family and stuff. But like, he is a weirdo. Like, does Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg not deserve to be roasted for how weird they fucking come across? Yes, they fucking do. And especially because they want to be in the limelight. Like, Elon Musk wants to be getting glazed on the Joe Rogan pod. He wants to be all up there in the photos with fucking Trump. He wants to be saying things that fucking may or may not be purposeful to go viral and stuff, right? It's the same as Zuckerberg. He wants to be ringside. He tries to go on these pods to show everyone, I am human, right? And it's the same with Tone. Like, he doesn't insert himself on the wrestling show, but he wants to go in front of the fans. He wants to do these lives on his So yes, he does deserve to be roasted for being a weirdo billionaire. Anti-socialite or whatever the fuck you want. I don't know if that's phrased correctly. Yes, he does because it's funny, and everyone does it to everybody else. Don't tell me behind closed doors you guys don't go, wow, that Elon Musk is a fucking weirdo, Karen. Don't tell me you haven't made those people. You're allowed to. You want to put yourself out there, people are going to roast you. It's just part of the game. Now, his business practices, he could do whatever the fuck he wants, but then Vince got a lot of shit that he didn't deserve. Bischoff gets a lot of shit that he didn't deserve. We could play this game all fucking day because at the end of the day, they're the ones making the decision for their company at the time or in hindsight or whatever the fuck. Now, people saying he runs his Fed like a shit show. If you're a fan and the general manager, let's say you're a fan of the Detroit Lions, and the Lions GM's fucking up, making bad trades, signing people who don't deserve it for too much, starting the wrong guys. You are allowed to trash them, bitch at them, all of that shit. Point blank. Now, if you're talking he doesn't deserve Nick LoPiccolo putting his number out there and shit, and provided that's his business number, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I agree, right? Nobody deserves that, even if it is your work shit. Yeah, I'll agree with you. Some people, if you're talking he doesn't deserve to be fucking AI pictured of him on Tony Montana's body, sniffing coke and shit. Yeah, that's kind of sad. I don't know if he deserves that. Some people take it way too fucking personally when it comes to Tone. He's just a square, man. He's just a geek. That's all it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've said it, man. I bet me and him would get along famously, mark out about old wrestling. But it's a camera turns on and he just becomes a weirdo. And you're allowed to point that out and you're allowed to make fun of. You called Sammy Guevara a pillar, and now he's on Twitter talking about he don't know when he's going to be on a fucking show. That's funny. When you call Triple H and HBK bald assholes and yell about Jim Crockett and I have more money and Eric Bischoff. That's funny. People are allowed to roast that. When you call people Harvey Weinsteins and bald assholes and say Cena didn't draw $1 million on NXT, that's allowed. You're allowed to roast and go, you're paying Ospreay. It could possibly be if he signed for 8 years, that could be a $10 million deal. I'm not joking. I don't know if it is. I'm just saying. And he ain't drawn shit. He ain't drawn anything. You're allowed to criticize that. You're allowed to call it goofy and you're allowed to say Tone's fucking up. I don't care what anybody says. Kenneth Douglas has been a member for 16 months. Thank you for your support. So let's listen in here.
He is one of the kindest human beings that I have met.
Nobody's even doubting that. I don't doubt that for a second. I bet he wouldn't hurt a fly.
And I can say this, since we're on the subject of these two people, where Dixie wouldn't compensate talent or wouldn't compensate.
He's the male Dixie, but he has infinite pockets of his own money that he's able to pay. And when Dave's the money's rolling in, it's not, because 185, and they didn't get that from WB. They didn't get that much. It was never guaranteed that much. It was just upwards 185. They didn't get it all in cash. Tone has to come out of pocket to fund this shit, which is fine because he's fine to do it because his dad's going to make $8 billion next year. And the investments that he's made and the companies he owns because of the billions his dad made that he could then invest in and own because he has billions of dollars from his dad. So when people are well, he has his own companies. How did he have them? Because of the billions from his dad. So when those bring in an extra billion, he doesn't care. He'll just foot it and he'll do it. This is why Tone doesn't care. When people go, he's going to go on YouTube and fucking my AEW. What do you not think? No, Tone doesn't even care. Tone agrees with me. You assholes. It's clearly what he's doing, okay? That's the only thing, and Karen says it. Mick Foley wants to virtue signal about, my silence is complicit. Okay, well, Tone's excited to work with the whole MAGA crew who put on UFC Freedom 250, and your silence isn't complicit in that. What did he slip in the Ariel Helwani? Well, also I'd have to do like 6 dates for WWE to make what I make in 1 date. I'm not joking. I think he said like 6 dates or something I can make in 1 date for AEW. That's what it's about for Mick. That's what it's about for Karen and Jeff right here. Well, he compensates us. Dixie wouldn't compensate us to deal with her bullshit. That's what Karen Jarrett's saying. Read between the lines.
8 female wrestlers. Tony Khan goes above and beyond to compensate his wrestlers and the people that work for him. Maybe sometimes too much, in my opinion. But
boom. Thank God Karen's being honest. Compensates some people too much. Thank you. Now we just need more legends to call this. Well, the ones who do get called grifters. And shit, so.
He takes care of the people that work for him, no matter what level you're on.
To you about some.
Right. Just creatively and everything else. It's very Dixie Carter-ish. He would definitely let Hulk Hogan drag him on the floor as he's like, please come back, please. He would let fucking Moxley do that to him. So speaking of tone and other people speaking of tone, okay? Alex Marvez on Officer Barbrady on Tony Khan's eligibility to be inducted in Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. Why the fuck would this even be? You know you're a mark when you're talking about in an interview Tony Khan being inducted into the Observer.
You are a naive, brainless, pathetic, idiotic, clueless, dumbass mark.
What are we even doing? So he says, I have to talk. Move along, people. Nothing to see here. I have to talk to Mr. Meltzer about this at some point. But when does Tony Khan start getting consideration for the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame? Because how much more does he need to do before we start talking about putting him on the ballot? What he's been able to accomplish in the 7 years or so of AEW being around, unprecedented for a startup company. And it doesn't show any signs of slowing down either. So again, this is a guy just being paid to be in AEW who, like, what is he going to do? Be like, nah, fuck Tone. But to get him in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame, like, okay, go ahead and do that. Everyone's surprised he isn't already in there. So let's get into some Tone cringe. And here we go. This is what Tony Khan had to say about how Bobby Heenan inspired Hangman Page versus MJF. And this is just a slap in the face to the brain, dude.
I watched an episode of Superstars of Wrestling. Most of these shows are just so paint by numbers. There would be like a couple times a year where Vince would deviate from whatever formula that he had for these syndicated shows. And you'd be like, wow, where did this come from? And there's an episode of Superstars of Wrestling where for the entire second half of the show, Bobby Heenan is handcuffed to the guardrail. There's transitions in this show that you've never seen in wrestling. A match ends and Bobby Heenan's out here like he's begging the heels for help. He's begging the baby faces not to beat him up in these matches through the flow of the show. At one point, you see them load the enhancement wrestlers for Power and Glory while Bobby Heenan's out there. You never see them load the enhancement wrestlers. They're just...
It's so... Oh, it's just such Mark bullshit in him going, yeah, they load the enhancement. It's just like vernacular he learned on the Wrestling Observer fucking newsletter, and then he's watching Superstars because he's just copying old WWE shit, which he's admitting right here. He's just copying old
The best
WWE
guys,
shit.
Tony Khan.
I want to show them load the enhancement wrestlers. Tone, they did this because it was it was something different, whatever. You can't just copy it. For fuck's sakes. Loading the enhancement. That's some shit you heard Dave say on a fucking message board, and now you're trying to like do that.
There. So you saw MJF do a promo and there was like a guy loaded in the ring in 2025. And then he goes and he kicks a guy out of the ring and he's like, get out of here. And he starts talking and does his promo. And then when Hangman comes out, people started to realize like, wait, what is Hangman doing here? And it's like, oh, that was his enhancement wrestler that MJF kicked out of the ring and he was about to have a match. That reignited their rivalry. And it was a small transition that just is something I had thought, wow, I've never seen it like that before.
So now listen to how this is titled too. How Heenan inspired. Heenan didn't inspire shit. Vince McMahon and the WWF superstars, the way the show was laid out, inspired you, Tone. And I don't know if he said that, but whoever owns this account, how Bobby Heenan inspired it had nothing to do with Heenan being handcuffed. Heenan handcuffed, Hangman. How Heenan handcuffed Hangman. Say that 10 times fast. It has nothing to do with that. It's about how Vince and the production showed them loading the enhancement. You never see loading the enhancement talent. Holy fuck you, Mark. Okay, so now here's Tony Khan and Darby Allin. I know you guys are locked in. And he went live. Live contrive. I think this was tonight here.
Hey everybody, it's Wednesday night. We are minutes away from Wednesday night.
And they're filming this. There's like an air conditioner. There's an AC pumping in the back, and Tone's yelling over the AC because they just need to use an office light. Tone doesn't have a light. It's just wherever there's a light, he goes. Here's some painting he did in kindergarten or whatever. And he's yelling over the AC like Brendan Schaub in his fucking storage unit where he does the fighter and the kid.
Dynamite live in Boston. The show is coming up very soon, and I have been joined by the former AEW World
The guy holding the camera's farting now.
Champion, Darby Allin, and Darby has something he'd like to say right now.
Brian Cage, I'm not running. I'm telling you right now, I'm here in Boston, and I'm looking for a fight.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. There's cameras with microphones and lights that all come in one thing. Tone could probably get it for $5 to $10 grand for top end shit. And it all comes in one thing. And then it might even cancel out some of the noise of the zzz. They're talking over an AC unit. Tone's got it cranked to the max. Fuck you telling me where to put my thermostat. I'll show you 65 degrees or whatever the fuck. And now Darby's got to talk over this. This is some shit you'd see on Botchamania. It's Botchamania level shit. And Tone thinks it's cute.
Kevin Knight, I'll get to you in your TNT championship. But tonight, Tony, me and Brian Cage.
He wants to fight Brian Cage tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Cage attacked Darby on Collision on Saturday. The doctors here in Boston have cleared Darby even after he got, frankly, beat up pretty good on Collision. But Darby wants the match. He's a great champion. He's a great wrestler. He's called out the TNT champion, Kevin Knight, for the future.
So the fucking the fan turned off? Like, what's going on? The AC unit's running through its function.
Brian Cage, the machine here in Boston tonight. Darby, you got it. Good luck. I'll see you on Dynamite tonight. Well, that's going to be a huge match tonight. Darby Allin versus the machine, Brian Cage. I can't wait for that big fight. Darby Allin's a great...
Where is he? This is like a drive-through window. There's like, they hand you your food through here. So there's like some window here. He's standing literally next to the AC unit. Is that where the sound's coming from? Is there like one of those ACs in the window? It's one of those like in the window units.
Wrestler, the machine, Brian Cage. We saw him pick up a great win on
the phone's resting on the AC.
Collision, and we saw him attack Darby Allin. I'm very excited for that great match. There's going to be just an absolutely awesome lineup here in Boston tonight. In addition to Darby Allin versus Brian Cage, you've heard that the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland, are looking for a fight with the Death Riders. And Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta, they picked up a great win on AEW Collision. And after the Death Riders assaulted Cope and Cage, it's going to be Yuta and Garcia versus Cope and Cage on AEW Dynamite tonight. That's going to be a great fight. And speaking of the great champions, the great stars of wrestling, we have the former TBS champion and the winner of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, Mercedes Moné, teaming with the World Tag Team Champions, the Divine Dominion, here in Mercedes' hometown, to take on somebody who frankly, is a top contender, herself a former TBS champion, a fan favorite, and somebody who won the Casino Gauntlet match at Beach Break, Willow Nightingale, as well as another finalist from the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, another great wrestler, Maya World, and her partner Hainan tonight making her Dynamite debut. What a great trios match that's going to be. Also very excited to have Jake Doyle versus...
He's trying to seem more excited because the last time we did this, he's all like, well, it's going to be exciting and I really can't wait and it's great. And he just seems so bummed out. So here he's like, we're going to give you all of these great matches and more this evening. And he's all excited.
Andrade El Idolo and Jake Doyle fighting. And of course, Andrade El Idolo has his eyes on gold. Don Callis family gold could be the national championship held by Mark Davis. But first, Andrade El Idolo has got a huge fight on his hands tonight with the incredible Jake Doyle. Also, we have a new international champion coming out of AEW Beach Break, the protostar Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher wants to be a fighting champion. He was a fighting...
my God. Every week and every single person wants to be a fighting champion and is looking for a fight. Tell these stories on TV.
TNT champion, and now Kyle Fletcher says he's going to be a fighting international champion. A top international star who made a very impressive return this past weekend to AEW was Commander. He won his first match back.
Now, remember, Dave Meltzer even classifies. So this is how the audience perceives Commander. A jobber. Even Dave Meltzer goes, well, he's not a jobber like Commander. And then Commander disappears off TV for like a fucking year or whatever. And he's on and off for like a year or so because visa or whatever. He finally comes back. He goes the limit to the fucking limit. And then obviously is not going to win the title, loses anyways. And he's a perceived jobber to the audience and to the casuals, if there are any, and probably to the hardcores. And to even Dave Meltzer, who's the most hardcore. And Tone doesn't understand why that's shit TV.
At the Brawl in the Ballpark in Minnesota, picked up some great wins over top competition, like 1/3 of the World Trios Champions in CMLL, Neon. Commander's a great wrestler. I'm so excited to have Commander back. He's a top international star. And he's going to challenge the protostar Kyle Fletcher for the international title tonight. So that's going to be an incredible night of wrestling. And on top of all that, we're going to celebrate the new AEW World Champion, Kenny Omega. I'm so excited for tonight. It's going to be an incredible night.
I'm so excited for tonight. Like, how do we know you don't have a script, but it sounds like you're reading a script?
And I'm so excited that the new champion, Kenny Omega, is here after his amazing win versus MJF at Beach Break last Wednesday. Kenny Omega is in the house tonight, live, and we'll celebrate the new champion live on TBS tonight as part of this huge lineup, and it goes live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on TBS and HBO Max, minutes from right now tonight.
Brutal. Still hold it? Still hold the pose? Should I hold the pose? I don't know. I don't know how that gets over to anybody. I just don't get how he thinks that connects. It just hasn't worked yet. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Ichi Nisanda. That was the AEW news. That was the best guys, Tony Khan. And that was, ladies and gentlemen, PWT live show. Went almost 4 hours. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm going to go live again. We'll cover the Joey Janela, Nick LoPiccolo shit. We'll cover that Friday. I'm going to be out of town Saturday. So I'm going to go live, I think, Friday. So make sure you guys tune in. Maybe we'll watch SmackDown and just do whatever I didn't get to tonight. And then, what's it called? On the Pro Wrestle Times, youtube.com/Pro Wrestle Times YouTube channel, the Saturday that I'm gone, there will be like 24 hours of fucking PWT airing on that channel. So if you just, I don't know, like to throw it on in the background and want to listen to some shows that already went down and shit, feel free to do that. Okay. I appreciate you all for being here. I've been Phil S. Marks. Where's my round of applause? Always have to acknowledge the PWT universe for being fucking goated. Round of applause to you all for being here. I appreciate you all. And ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all next time. I've been Phil S. Marks. And again, I'll be live Saturday. Make sure you check out Patreon. I dropped a new video today. Patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. Okay? Make sure you do that shit. I've been Phil S. Marks. I'll see you guys next time. Be good. Stay hydrated.
Tony Khan is the best guy. Ooh, yeah. Dave woke up on a Wednesday night, got the star ratings ready, feeling just right. Tone booked a ladder match, 12 flips in a row. Dave said, 6 stars, brother, let's go. The ratings dipped a little, but that's okay. There's always a reason by the end of the day. When the message boards crumble and wonder why, Dave just smiles and starts to type. Maybe you just don't understand the art. That's the line before he plays his part. Tony Khan is the best guy, never wrong and he'll tell you why. If Tone books it, it's certified. Tony Khan is the best guy. Tony Khan is the best guy. Dave's got another defense to write. Every match is a masterpiece tonight. Tony Khan is the best guy. Tony Khan is the best guy. Tone made another huge announcement again. The biggest announcement since 10 announcements ago then. Dave got excited before it was said. Already handing out flowers in his head. The forums laughed, the podcast cried, the tribal wars burned all night. But Dave was there with a brand new take, explaining every questionable mistake. The critics yell from far and wide, but Dave is always by Tone's side. Tony Khan is the best guy, never wrong and I'll tell you why. If Tone books it, it's certified. Tony Khan is the best guy. Tony Khan is the best guy. Dave's got another defense to write. Every match is a masterpiece tonight. Tony Khan is the best guy. Tone on the phone at 2:45. Dave, what'd you think of the show? Dave said, Tone, that was wrestling history. That's exactly what I hoped you'd say, bro. The fans keep arguing year after year, but Dave's got 5 more stars to give right here.